We don't need the clap, Keenan. We're not doing any video.
No, Keenan needed the clap.
He needed it for himself.
All right, ready, set, go.
Si punto.
Si punto. Welcome one. Welcome all.
Wow, so energetic, Joe.
Yeah.
Welcome.
What up, Lamont? Podcasting, man.
How's it going, man?
Going on.
Yeah, that's okay. You got
This
that
is
Supreme
Keenan.
hat
This
going
is
on?
Joe.
Hey, how's it going, man?
You good? You all right?
Good to see you.
Like the shoes. Yeah.
We're at Control Collective, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And
We
I
are
think I've seen
live.
Joe's and Keenan's point about recording in a location with people,
Yeah.
which is still great, though.
We are on the scene. We have a live audience, ladies and gentlemen.
We have a live unknown audience.
Yes, they're literally walking around like bots.
Joe's like,
NPCs.
I don't know. He's looking around like, I don't know if this is such a good fucking idea. I'm sorry. It's because I know people.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
But he seems
Philly
cool.
knows everyone, and then everybody's just gonna be
Start
coming
talking
in,
to Philly.
greeting him. And we're
It
like,
wouldn't be a problem if they didn't know me because then they just walk right by.
yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
So now this is what we're gonna have to deal with this episode. So I'm just preparing myself mentally to just.
Nah.
should-
That was unexpected. They did not usually.
That's gonna be the. Should that be the title?
What?
That was unexpected.
Yeah, we could do that. Though
Or-
that was unexpected.
Well.
Yeah.
Um,
Well.
Yeah, no, they're building like some new social network with across like Japan and China and
Oh,
bringing it
cool.
out here. It's
Okay.
like super dope people.
Nice.
Don't
People-
give that away.
Oh.
They're telling their secrets.
Nah.
Playful
Also, I didn't sign an
playful
NDA.
secrets.
So
Damn, you just
we're
tell
out
everybody.
here
Out
We out
here
here
in
at Control
Pasadena.
Collective,
Mm-hmm.
doing it up. Week two.
Pasadena.
Gonna give us some more energetic. Welcome one, welcome all.
Welcome one. Welcome all to episode 28 of the None of Our Business podcast. We are your gracious hosts, Philly, Philly fanatic, philanthropy, philosophy, silent tempo sane.
That's a good one.
We have Keenan Duncan, C9, CNN
Balls deep.
Balls.
I like that nickname.
His code name is
Big
Balls
ballin',
Deep.
ballin' deeps.
And I'm
Deep
Joe.
balls.
El Guapo.
You putting on your sexy voice, Joe. Getting a little low, getting a little gargle. In your
Just so everybody knows, Billy might sound like a 13-year-old boy.
Why
That's
in
fucked
some
up.
instances. He's having issues with his tonsils, or
Yes.
I was
yeah,
choking on
there's,
cock.
there's,
too much.
there's
He's-
like a situation.
Philly
that he's
likes to
had,
swallow.
tickling.
Actually, right now I don't because it hurts.
It hurts when he swallows.
I think it
hurts.
came down with
It's not
tonsillitis
the
or
first time,
something.
and it won't be the last.
If you had tonsillitis, you wouldn't be here.
yeah, you wouldn't be here
Really?
That's
Yeah.
a serious thing. Yeah.
It was weird though
because they
because
swell and yeah.
And you have to go to the
because
hospital.
my
have to
whole
go to
shit
the
was only on one side, and so I started googling. I did the thing, guys,
I
started
he went to
Googling.
WebMD.
No.
and it was
you
like
check
you
your
might
prostate?
have cancer, and I was like, oh
He's
god.
self-diagnosed.
Guys that have cancer.
But I just remembered whenever I felt that way, and I'd go to a doctor,
Mhm.
because I don't have health insurance or whatever. Like,
Mm.
it's probably illegal to say that.
Well, that's cool. We'll stick a finger in your butt to help you out. We'll check
They
your
usually would
prostate
just
for
give
you.
me antibiotics, but I started reading on antibiotics, and if you take too much, and it is a bacterial infection, the bacteria will get used to it. So I just started taking vitamin C instead.
Now you open this Pandora's box, so I'm going to just continue the questions from here.
Damn, Joe. What happened?
So how does that work? Because I thought that if you didn't have health insurance,
Oops. Yeah.
you were taxed. But if
Yeah.
you're doing your taxes,
Oh no. So what it is
You
I
try.
I,
Joe's
I,
a narc.
no, I
I'm doing the
applied. I applied
calculations
for
in my head.
for the state thing or
The
whatever.
Obama stuff, right?
Oh,
Yeah, But like the way they have it hooked up is like it's sort of like you have it, just don't ask for anything.
Well, why can't that be a choice? Why can't you just say no? I don't want health insurance.
Like I have it, but I don't have a card or anything that allows me to go get services based on that.
How is
but
that?
I don't know. But at the end of the year, whenever I file my taxes, I get a paper that says technically you had it the whole year, and then I'm able to file no problem.
That don't make no
I'm
goddamn
curious-
sense.
wait,
to me.
But
I'm
I don't
curious,
have
what-
any card that I can go to like a clinic and ask for shit.
so.
Not that I ever have. I think I've gone to the doctor maybe 3 times
Yeah,
as an
but-
adult ever.
But you might be eligible to get like some supplemental insurance,
Like
or whatever,
government.
Yeah.
Well, some
moving,
government thing.
Yeah, moving forward, I'm going to start using some service that's going to automatically track like what I need to pay for taxes, what benefits are available to me, all that shit. Like some AI app. I don't want to drop names here because fuck them. They don't pay me.
Wait, so if you go
But
into
you're going to
urgent,
use them.
Yeah,
but
because
fuck
I'm going to pay them, you know? So fuck them.
If you
Unless
go
they
to-
give it to me for free.
when you go to urgent care and they say, "Do you have
they're
health
providing you a
insurance?"
service.
I just
You
don't.
you just say no.
I just
Oh.
urgently sit in a bed and go,
Damn, dude, what if you do have cancer or some shit like that?
Shut up, Keenan.
bro, I don't want to
I
go to
don't
the
know.
doctor because they're going to find out something's wrong with me.
Oh Jesus. Well, like I said, we're your best friends, so we'll put a finger in your butt to check your prostate
Thanks.
if you need. That's what friends are for.
Although I don't think we could be friends after that.
We'll be
I'm
lovers.
more like lovers.
And then when we meet at parties, we'll be like, oh, hey.
Let me just tell you,
Yeah.
the finger that I use,
Oh, God.
It's the
I
hand
will
on your
not
handshake.
cut my nail.
For
weeks.
Why,
So let me know when you're ready.
That's nasty, bro.
why would you not cut your nail?
That's part of the glory.
Doesn't that
Okay,
hurt?
hold
It
on,
would
hold on,
cut
hold
the
on, hold
skin.
on. It's about time we ask. Okay,
Oh.
Joe, how often
Do you get a
does
finger
a
in
finger up your ass go? Oh,
I don't
wait.
know.
Wait, how far?
You said, hey, my dog. Hey, my G.
Hey,
That's
my
kind of
G.
personal.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you.
Damn.
When
A
Joe-
gentleman never
when-
tells.
When Joe's beating up, he takes the finger with the nail and he
Put a little coke in it.
and shove it up my butt with the coke. Like, shut up,
you hear
Keenan.
the bathroom door close. All you hear is, woo!
Dude, if you
Smoke
fart,
it.
would it come out like a white powder?
I have no idea.
I was
I've
kinda
never-
curious.
I've never put
I
cocaine
will
in my
neither
butt.
deny nor confirm those allegations.
I wonder what else you can put in your butt
Oh,
to get
wow,
like something.
Keenan.
I'm like, because I know you
He's,
can
he's
do,
invested. He's going in there.
because I know you can do what caffeine. There's those caffeine people who put coffee up their ass,
Oh, yeah. The
Right.
that is
enemas.
just
right?
crazy.
And then there's
For cleanses, cold cleanses.
aren't there other things too? There's coffee. There's Coke. Is that it? There's got to be other stuff you can put up your butt to get a good high off of.
You could
A penis. Besides that, there's got to be something else.
dildos. I don't know. We'd have to
Oh.
Google it, but I'm by no means an expert. I'm gonna tell
Whoever's
you right
listening
and,
now.
to this,
and I'm
just-
not going to Google
Just
it.
chime in. Google it at work while you're at work.
No, I'm not going to do that. You do it at work.
Keenan probably does it at work.
Dude, when I tried to do the little flyer that I went to do with the men's legs, and I typed in Mig's legs, and I was like, ah, shit, I'm just gonna do this at home.
You're like,
I can't do it at work.
He was like, oh, no.
As soon as he did it,
Yeah.
someone walked in. So we're gonna need this report done on. He's like, right, and then just look at him, and then just like stare at him
It's
and
like-
just turn their head
like-
side to side, like shake my head.
I can explain. I swear.
Like, wait, no, wait.
Or one of them actually raises their eyebrows.
I know.
at
It's like,
Keenan,
it's
and
like,
he's
oh,
like,
wait, oh shit.
And he's like, I was typing in men's legs. No, it's not what it seems. Like, why were you
dude,
looking
I had
at
to
him?
accidentally have it. You know, in Google when it has your most used pages
yeah.
underneath the search engine, one of them said Pornhub, and I was like, holy fuck, how did that happen? And it turns out Google is linked to everything, right? So if I go to it on my phone, when I go to my computer at the office,
It's gonna
it'll
show.
have it.
Oh, because
there.
you logged in with your personal Gmail at the office.
Yeah.
Well, that's your first mistake, bro. Amateur moves. You'd have a business email, bro.
Get it together.
Damn it.
Keenan.
I used to work for this company where we made the gold and platinum plaques for the music industry,
Mhm.
and we had this new guy come in, and about 3 months in, he got fired because
He's like,
he
"Yeah,
left his phone in the bathroom, and he was clearly watching porn. I was maybe spanking it. You know what I mean? So yeah, like after a girl walked in right after to use the bathroom, and she
damn.
reported him, and I was like, damn.
Wait, so the phone must have had to been on and pause, or else she would have to pick,
you,
up the phone.
You know, you got to
press the
reach to
button.
wipe or whatever you're doing. He probably left the phone on top of the thing and
Well,
just
yeah, but I mean,
forgot.
there
I've
had
forgotten my phone in the bathroom before.
There would be an image on there. If there isn't, the phone, the screen would go black. You know,
Well, if
power
you're
save.
watching a video or whatever, like maybe he like spanked it, whatever, and like put it down to wipe and then forgot,
Yeah.
like as he got up.
But all phones go to black after a while when you're not
Maybe.
using it. So unless you picked up the phone, push the button, and see what was on there, I'm like, holy fuck.
The craziest thing about this, though,
Mhm.
is that he was watching it on 3G because
Yeah,
when you worked over
Yeah.
there, we didn't even have 4G
that's
yet.
true.
Oh,
That's
shit.
true. This is way back
He was really dedicated to watching this. If he was
because it
watching
loaded
in
up
3G,
slow. And
it
everything,
did.
yeah.
God, those times.
Or maybe he had his own personal connection on his phone.
Maybe.
Maybe he was using the Wi-Fi.
Or he had it already
Yeah.
downloaded.
It's bad, bro. It's bad. Regardless of the situation,
Yeah.
that dude definitely fucked up.
Yeah.
How are you gonna get
He got
fired?
fucked twice.
And he was cool too. He was a cool dude. But every now and then we'd have a conversation, be like, "Yeah, she needs a spanking." That was his favorite thing to say. You know?
What?
I used to be
geez.
like, "Pretty sure this isn't good because it's a woman-owned company."
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah, the owner didn't take too well to it, and she was dope, man. She single-handedly
Mhm.
from New Jersey came out to LA, built her name in the music industry, and then decided to launch. She got certified by RIAA to make these gold and platinum plaques. They
Okay.
only give out like those licenses to few people.
Okay.
So she worked her ass off. So to have someone come in your company and beat
And just
off
start
on their
beating.
breaks, you know,
That I can understand because I'm thinking like, well, if I owned a company and my employees were acting up, my mentality is as long as they get the work done and they don't cost the company money, I have no reason to really
just wash your
wanna
fucking
give it-
hands, right?
Exactly. But then in California, I found out that apparently this is a right to hire and a right to fire state. So they can fire you for whatever
Oh, yeah.
reason and they can hire you for whatever reason.
Hire at will, yeah.
I didn't know that, but hey, who knows? I didn't really research that up. I just got the information from a coworker at the previous company I used to work at when
But
people
you
got
would
fired.
be
at
okay
random.
with like knowing like who like if people are openly like beating off
Yeah,
in your
I
company.
probably link them to one of my personal websites and like use my passcode and you get like a percentage off.
I don't.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to. I don't think I'd be able to.
Like the
If I-
minute you find out someone's beating off,
If
like
I find out, maybe I give them some sort of warning or something. Was their
be
work
like,
really
"Yo, my
good?
guy,
because they're on
I
their
use
lunch
that
break
restroom
beating
too."
off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's almost like if they were doing drugs. If they were doing drugs, like would I be if it was like heroin or something, I probably wouldn't do it. But they're smoking weed. I don't know. It has to affect the company and the
If
business.
it affects the company,
But
right? Well,
if,
it might
if they
affect
were
the
smoking
coworkers.
weed, if
Mhm.
they were smoking weed, it would affect their performance at work. So then, it's
If I
costing
notice a
you money.
performance, if I notice a performance downfall, I would
gotcha.
say
Unless they're
something
like
about it.
functioning.
Yeah, I
Right.
would. Even with alcohol, that's even. That's.
I mean,
a
we're
very
just talking
reasonable
about like it was mostly women employed at that company,
Mhm.
and dudes like beating off, and it's like a small like the restroom was the size of one of these booths that we're looking at over here,
Yeah.
which is I don't know what is that. That's 3
Mhm.
feet across, 10 feet high.
Mhm.
Like that's a small ass booth.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
No, it's about 8 feet.
8 feet.
but that's some desperation stuff.
Maybe
to do
7.
it during lunch.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm bad, but I'm not that bad.
Right. So let's not forget that you were using your personal email to log in at work, bro. You need to
Oh,
get.
fuck you.
That's why I have
That's
a
for
laptop.
my Gmail.
You know what's
That's
funny
for my
though?
Gmail.
You know what's
It's
funny
not
though? Is
my-
one time I had been looking up like sometimes when I look at celebrity, I'm like, damn, she's fine. I wonder what she looks like in a swimsuit. You know what I mean? And like I'll look at it private mode, but then I was looking something up and I was like, let me see what that looks like while she's looking at my and I opened up my Google browser and I was like, I was like, like I turned my phone real quick, like, oh shit. She's like, what? I was like, these prices are great.
Oh,
I think I was
man.
looking up like Scarlett Johansson or something.
Oh,
I don't know,
shit.
whatever. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, it's
It's just funny the feeling you get when you're like, I shouldn't let my girl see I was looking at that.
I travel a lot, and it would just be the most horrifying shit in the world if I were about to because I get my airline tickets on the phone. So it'd be the worst if I'm like trying to give the TSA my phone so they could scan my ticket, and then
Big old
like
titties.
big ass porn, like finger banging, and I'm like, oh shit, no, that's not the one. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, damn.
And they just look at you like, mm-hmm.
And be like, yeah, what if it's a woman?
Oh, man.
It's just a fucking gangbang.
Dude,
Like,
it's
oh,
just funny because like you get real hot and sweaty, like, oh shit.
Oh,
Embarrassed.
It feels super guilty.
Oh, that's not the right
Yeah.
ticket.
Yeah.
That's a different ticket. That's a ticket to pleasure land.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Did that?
You're welcome to come aboard.
That's a different plane that I'm boarding.
No. Oh,
That'd be
man.
crazy.
What would you do if you were on a plane and you walked into the bathroom and you saw a phone there that like the screen was still on and it was porn and you were like,
I probably use it. Like, oh, this is the
Hell no.
community porn, complimentary porn for your plane flight.
oh
Yeah.
man.
They should do that. They should do a Brazzers airline.
You
Or,
know what would
Pornhub
totally
airline.
that's what I think that would totally steal the market
All the
if they had
stewardess
like
are
a
butt ass naked.
like if they had like a Hooters version of
Yeah.
like an airline or the Hooters version where
Yeah.
like
That is so demeaning. Like, God.
but you know that shit would make money, bro. And it would just be like the slobs of slobs
Stop
taking
playing the nice
flights.
straight guy, Joe. I know you probably get first class tickets
Nah,
for that shit.
I wouldn't
Don't
ride
even.
on those.
Whatever, lying ass.
My perviness stays within me and my friends. The public doesn't have to know about my pervy.
Jeez.
How pervy I can get.
You know you're a perv if
I get really nasty.
what was the name of that comedian Rick Fox or no that's a basketball player.
Yeah.
But
Jim Fox or he was like you know you're a redneck if
Jeff Foxworthy.
Jeff Foxworthy. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
Oh yeah.
Book on a comedy tour and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
You're
Good,
close.
Good
You're
stuff.
close. Huh?
Rick Fox.
Rick Fox. Oh,
Although
there's Red Fox.
he's married
there is
to
Red
he's married
Fox.
to one of my crushes, Eliza Dushku.
Oh, okay.
She's banging. She's
Rick Fox?
Albanian, yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or she's always posting pictures of them, so they must be something.
I know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
He snagged her up. As soon as I snatch. That's a hell of a word, isn't it? Snatch.
Snatched. Well, hey,
Mm,
the words,
Joe just
the words we
smells.
use,
that word sounds
Hey,
delicious.
what's the deal with dudes and smelling panties? I don't get it.
or the seats. They'll sniff the seats
Like,
where they lie. I was like, really?
I just don't get that. Like
No.
that's a whole different level of like perv. Like,
But have you ever smelt a girl's panties? I'm
What do
pretty
you
sure
mean?
like 3 out of every
Joe's
4
like,
dudes on the planet.
what do you mean?
What do you mean by have you smelt a girl's panties?
I don't know.
Like,
Maybe they're just lying around the house and you just lean over, take a quick whiff, just to
gosh.
just to
that's
help
like
them
the
out.
equivalent of the dude from Scary Movie who's like, smell that. He's like, what's that?
It's
My
my ass.
He's like, this when you know you become a man.
Yeah.
I don't. I
That I, don't
can't
see
say
as necessary. But I mean, I don't know. You might
that'd
you
be,
might see it just on your bed. And you're like, oh, okay.
that'd be so fucking weird. Like, imagine getting caught like smelling
Sniffing?
panties.
Did I get caught? No, actually, I think I did it. I think I did it purposely in front of my girl as a joke. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like I
Girl.
fake sniffed. I really sniffed it.
Nah,
But
but
she thought I
I,
was joking.
it's been like laundry, fresh laundry. That's
Yeah.
the only time
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I
I
did-
maybe have ever.
I
done
think I
that.
did the bra and the panties just as something I thought was like very funny.
I don't know. Like,
Uh,
I understand sniffing a girl. Sometimes girls smell like really, really nice.
Mhm.
And I'm like, ooh. But
Mhm.
like the panties, I don't know about that.
Well, see, at a certain point, I mean, the connection that I had with my ex was really close to me where I could easily like sniff her feet or her legs or her back. Or,
Hey, my G.
it was totally cool. It's nothing.
Was there any regular practice in any of those?
I think we wound up sniffing each other at some point.
That's right.
But it was like, the closeness. Like
Right,
I'm so
right,
comfortable
right,
with you,
right,
I
right.
can sniff your feet.
How primitive.
Well, okay, so it's like some couples are
What's that?
so comfortable they can fart around each other. I don't know if I can do that.
I can't do the bathroom usage. The fart, I find it funny.
I mean, in fact, I went to a meeting the other day. I
Mhm.
thought I was gonna be professional, and then like in the middle of the meeting, dude just let one rip, and I was like,
What?
well, technically,
I was like, can you
have a
open the
video.
door?
There's a video of you getting a fart in the face while you're sleeping by one of your
Oh, that
friends.
was years
Yeah.
ago.
But
Like,
still,
way
I mean, you
back.
did it. It was like, it wasn't
Yeah,
like,
dude, that was like over a decade ago.
the point is it happened. All right. It's still,
But
it's
like,
not
let's
it
say,
never did.
like you'd be okay with like, I mean, it's one thing if it slips out and you're like, fuck, that was hilarious. It's
Joe
another.
farts all the time.
It's
around
another
me.
if like
No,
if
I
like
don't.
It's-
I mean, I fart, but I don't fart all the time, and I don't do it aggressively, like in front of
right.
everybody.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Yeah,
"Ah."
that's what I'm saying.
Like lift my leg up.
like-
and-
Like, would you be comfortable with your partner like
I
just
did.
letting it rip just like that, like no regard for anyone?
as long as
or,
we're
like-
not in a closed area. But I do it to encourage my girl not to be ashamed of like her, because a lot of girls will purposely try not to fart or burp or do any other things that we think is normal bodily functions. I'm like, just go ahead and do it. It's funny, and it's also human nature. Just don't feel ashamed to fart in front of me because you think that's what girls are not
They're
supposed to
gonna
do.
change your view. I mean, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
You're still gonna be beautiful to me, girl.
right.
Girl, you're beautiful. It's true.
I want to talk about real quick how much fun it was last week's episode with Melissa and what we did afterwards. where we played
A little adventure.
we played Dragon Ball Z, and I think
we
we
finally beat Joe on some
we
on a
finally beat
real
Joe.
level.
but we had the most epic laughter
Oh
of
yeah,
practically all time.
Yo,
All time.
we had a session
It
after
was
the session.
ridiculous.
yeah, we did play.
We
It's
went
been a
and,
while.
we went and watched John Wick.
Just
John
first we
Wick.
saw John Wick, which
John
was
Wick.
badass.
It was so sick. Go check it out.
Keanu Reeves is my hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
And chapter 4 is confirmed.
Yes.
Really?
It's
It had
gonna
to be. It was a
lit.
cliffhanger.
Yeah. So don't burn it for people.
Well, they don't know what the cliffhanger is.
That's true. So we went and saw
Damn
John
it.
Wick. It was raining.
Hey, my
it was
guys, take it
beautiful.
easy.
Was it?
Then-
Oh yeah, rain a little. We took photos.
Yeah. Then we went over to my crib.
Yeah.
Took
At some point, we started
pictures.
crossing swords. You know,
Shit.
It was an epic night, but that laughter, because I'm all about the laughter.
yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah.
To see Joe and Philly laugh the way you guys did,
Yo.
I mean, we were in pain.
it was.
we were definitely in pain.
But how often do
We
you
couldn't
really?
even breathe.
Yeah, how often do you really have moments where laughter literally takes your breath away like that? Like,
I do, and it's one of the things that I notice about myself as sort of this is me taking gloating for myself.
are you
about
saying
how,
you're just better than all of us, Keenan?
I'm just saying like how
He's like, I might be.
cool how a lot of time when I joke about how not cool I am, but it's one of the things I notice of it always happens around me, which means I'm able to bring out or
Always a
somehow be
good time.
involved in
Yeah.
that moment. Because we had a couple of those moments. We had a couple of those moments on the podcast. And then when I was up in the Bay Area, there's always been a moment where I do something or somebody around me does something that I pick up on that we just
Right.
laugh.
That's
and
true though. You did
so
you did
hysterical.
start the laughter. You were the
Yeah.
one that first noticed it, and then we realized how silly that really was.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's true.
But
So
yeah.
if A plus B equals C, then you must be one of those. Yeah, I
But
got
same
you.
thing about we did the flan joke and the pruny penis on the podcast. And
That's
then
true. Oh yeah, we
Joe-
did have a laugh like that on the podcast.
I would
Yeah.
say something super stupid around Joe, and Joe would be like, "What the fuck?" And he just goes nuts, crazy laughing, and I start laughing. And things like that happen.
Why were we even laughing at last week? What
'Cause
was
the
it
dude-
that
Remember,
Because
I
you
was
did
like,
the
"Holy
super,"
shit!"
and then the dude flies away, and it's just like in slow motion, and it was great. Dragon
It was-
Ball Fighter Z.
We were down to like the last 2 hits of
Yeah.
life in this Dragon Ball game that's a lot like Street Fighter.
Mhm.
And Joe unlocked his ultimate beam or whatever. And when that happened, my character was flying specifically in shape that looked like, oh no.
His legs and feet were in
Yeah.
front of him, and it was just.
And
it
there's
was great.
there's been a running joke the whole night from this anime called JoJo's what is it?
bizarre?
Bizarre
adventure?
Yeah,
Adventure,
where
yeah.
the American in there always constantly says shit like, "Oh no, holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh my god!"
son of a bitch.
Yeah, and so I brought it up, and I guess the timing and Keenan seeing it, and
It
then
was
pointing out the
epic.
character, it was just
so epic. I rolled on the ground. I curled up in a ball and laughed. It was so
it
great.
was yeah.
Twice.
Just so some of you guys can get a reference to it, if you watch anime, there's an anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So there's this character. His name is Joseph. Is it Joe? No, it's Jonathan. Jonathan Joestar. And if you go on YouTube, there's a compilation of him just saying, "Oh my god." Just look up
Okay.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Oh my god. And it's just a compilation of him saying a variety of "oh my god," "oh shit," "son of a bitch,"
And in
And
all
it's just-
Japanese speaking
Yeah,
anime.
and it's all with a Japanese accent trying to speak English.
Okay.
which is what makes
It's
it funny.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Okay.
Anyone who's ever read the manga or played the games know how over the top JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is.
Mm.
So it just makes it that much better. Yeah,
That's funny, man. Yeah, but it was good times. It really
it
was.
was great
Yeah,
times.
it was
dude.
amazing.
So
Great.
many more moments like that.
You had
Absolutely.
an amazing podcast with your sis and your cousin, and the hangout afterwards. Super cool.
Yeah, it was dope.
You need friends out there, people. You need friends like that. I know. I guess it's the development of like 20 years of friendship or whatever, but
Yeah.
is I don't know. Even if you're like single and you're not with somebody, having friends, you'll create moments that are like,
That's the thing, man. Especially in LA, a lot of people come from out of state and
Mhm.
they don't have friends. Like, I mean, 1 in 4 Americans in general, according to I forget some government study, like don't have friends, don't
Mhm.
have a confidant.
mhm.
1 in 4.
I was just reading. I don't know how valid this is or if it's how accurate it is, But I guess Keanu Reeves did an interview recently where he stated that he was lonely because he didn't really have any friends. Like he didn't
I'll
have
be his
anybody.
friend. Fuck
Like,
that.
shit, I'll
No
be
shit.
your friend all day, Keanu Reeves.
I will be Keanu Reeves' sparring partner if he
I'll
wants
be
to.
your
Yeah.
best friend, bro.
We hang out every day.
Swear to God.
Most
Swear to God,
excellent.
I'll be your best friend.
But I mean, you got to imagine you get to that level, and it's like, do people like you for you?
Yeah, or is it your money or your fame?
I just feel like Keanu Reeves is capable of being everybody's friend.
I think so.
He's just like, I mean, from what we're able to see
Mhm.
from an outsider's perspective, he just looks like he'd be a dope ass friend. Like,
Yeah.
like a super chill guy.
I mean, he owns a motorcycle company, though, right? Like,
I have no idea.
yeah. Him and his partner, they started a motorcycle company,
Mm.
and they're like constantly innovating, making slimmer or more. Those were probably his motorcycles in the movie John Wick. Who
Oh,
knows?
that's sick.
But that's where he invested his money.
Yeah, but yeah. So I read this thing on it. I saw it on Instagram, so I don't know how valid it is,
Right.
or
Mhm.
how true it is. But yeah, it's crazy because, you wouldn't imagine like, and it's great of him to actually speak on it because
Yeah.
Mhm.
because he's had a pretty fucked up situation, like
Yeah.
with his ex-fiance or his fiance dying
Yeah.
and all that shit.
Yeah,
So it's like, damn, that's
John Wick is
crazy.
literally based on him.
I know.
like, in some
that must
respects.
have been trippy
It's
to
like
go
his
through that.
story of his life.
Yeah.
We don't even know it. All the people that he's fought are all the demons that he's been dealing
Damn,
with.
What?
That's crazy.
Nima prosta sabachka. He said, we're like, all this for a sabachka? He's like, Nima prosta sabachka.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, there's actually, I'm trying to think of who I would love to hang out with. Like, I think it would be a good person to just be a chill dude or bro in quotations. And I was trying to think about it during this conversation. I know one of them would have been Paul Rudd. I think Paul Rudd, to me, would be a cool person to just hang out with and have a beer or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And just talk
Probably.
wild
Paul
shit.
Rudd seems super chill.
But I'm trying to think, there was somebody else who was
Get the
like, oh,
moves,
man.
the moves, especially from I Love You Man, where he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
Peter Clavin, really trying. Like,
They're trying to just fit in. You know?
I'll see you then, or I'll see you at another time.
But has there been somebody throughout your life as some celebrity out there like, man, I would love to just hang out and just talk the shit, not even talk about their fame or what they've done, just random stuff in the universe,
just like talk to them.
and talk.
I feel like I would have some interesting conversations with Robert Downey Jr.
Robert, he'd be one of them.
Just because like he's always like stream of consciousness and shit.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Joe?
And because he does
Oh.
Wing Chun and I do Wing Chun, so it's like
John Leguizamo, man.
John Leguizamo.
Oh,
Okay.
John Leguizamo.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you two ran into him or something. Does he live like in
he
LA
lives in
somewhere?
New York.
He lives in New York.
He has an LA house. Though.
Oh, he does. Okay. Yeah.
But you know, I remember reading his book. What was it called? It was, I think it was Freak, something like that. The name of his book. But he talks about how when he first moved out to LA and got a house, he quickly realized there was nothing like New York where you could run into people
Yeah.
or people could just show up somewhere. So you had to book your friends in LA, and it's so true.
That sounds very true.
You have to book your friends.
Yeah.
Anytime, like, you think it's bad enough you're a parent and you like have to wrangle your kids and go somewhere. Like,
Mm-hmm.
try meeting friends in LA. The same thing. Like, you got to like set it up. You got to make sure it's not too far from each other.
Yeah.
you
Let's
know?
talk about that, Joe. How often do you come to my house just to hang out?
Never.
Yeah.
The big fat
honest.
If people don't know,
Damn,
Keenan travels. We're gonna give Keenan some credit here. He travels. How many miles is it from?
I thought we've stated that many times.
No, I thought we're throwing him another
How
bone.
dedicated he is to this podcast and being part of it.
But if at any time you ever want to quit, Keenan, I'm fucking around, man.
I see how it is. Well, I got to get my episode in where it's just me and Joe, just to see what how crazy that would be. Like,
I
if you
mean-
let me and Joe loose, just to say whatever we feel like saying.
This. Well, I was saying, you know, have a great ball. You know, I'm sure you guys are gonna do just fine
We'll
without
see.
my brainy ass.
Well, the thing is, I had one. You definitely had one with Philly. You know, with just you two. I had one with Philly with just me and him. I'm kind of curious how we
it's
would
never,
roll it.
yeah, it's never been just
Yeah.
you guys, huh?
Because there's times when we're hanging out. When we hang out at places in K Town and whatnot, Joe and I would just shoot the shit, and we go on some pretty good, interesting, like philosophical, crazy shit and universe stuff, and as well as just humor, and then talking shit.
You guys
to
are
each
gonna
other. It's
find
great.
out you don't even need me on the podcast.
know.
Watch. Come
Be
July,
like-
June 30th, you guys will be like,
Why do you have Philly? Man?
What
You should-
happened here? Guess we don't need him anymore.
You know.
We've evolved beyond him.
But yeah, it's just please have friends. It's not a soapbox talk, but it's just, you know, just
making it.
People say it's hard to make friends. I'm trying to find out. I mean, I agree with that in LA where you have to book things. Nobody's out there like, hey, let's just go out and do something on a random night.
Unless they live like down the street from you.
People,
you know?
even that.
Or if you're Joe or Keenan.
I think people still need to be told, hey, let's do something this week on this day at this place and this time.
I think it comes from the fact that you guys don't mind giving more than you take, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, you guys are generous people just in general.
Yeah.
Like, until somebody proves to be like sloppy and take advantage of you.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Then we stop.
You guys are usually very generous with your energy, time, effort. You know, I actually am quite the opposite. You know, I used to be very open, but then I realized that a lot of people just fuck off my time. So then the only people that I allow myself to fuck off on time with and have a great time is with people that I know that also take my time into consideration. Like, oh, you know, it's dope.
Well, see, that's why when you're asking if I was a little bit butthurt last night after our show, it was like, yeah, well, I thought we were all cronies and friends and we're going to hang out and have fun on a Saturday night. And then people just go straight home. It's like,
that's LA though, man.
Yeah.
Like, most people, like, after they take care of their business, they just go home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how that happens.
Yeah.
Now, if this was New York, bro, and I know it's not. I'm just saying, if it was, the reason why people would hang out is because you can just walk down 2-3 blocks for the rest of the night after a couple of beers to go to another bar and another bar.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how you end up leaning to the side as you wait for the escalator that you're not actually on.
Shit. Damn, what kind of drugs are you on, man?
But no, people just get that fucking drunk.
Oh, okay.
There's people who fall asleep on the train and wake up in parts of New York they never even visited just because they're like, oh, holy shit.
I like to have one of those moments. That'll be a blacked out moment.
I did it once.
Blacked out?
I accidentally, my buddy here, Andre. You remember the other Cheech? Remember for my birthday, the other tall dude?
Oh, okay.
He moved to New York too for a time when I moved back for the second time.
Mm-hmm.
And he met me at my boy's karaoke bar up across On Now Lounge across from Modell's in Madison Square Garden.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was right there.
Yes, that place.
And
sure.
and so he came through and he's a big dude, you know, and I don't drink on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's all on me, bro. He's like, we were going beer for beer, and he started ordering a bunch of soju too.
Okay.
I don't know what happened, man, but I left my card there because even though he was paying, I left my card there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember we were calling it quits, and I went to go get my card. And next thing you know, I'm waking up and I'm on the train. Somehow I paid for, or I didn't. I don't know what, but I didn't know where my card was, and I had made it home.
Damn.
And I don't remember like how I did that. I just remember waking up and it was my stop, and I was like, here I go. I woke up the next day like, dude, I don't know where my card is. He was like, just cancel it and order another one, bro.
Shit. Damn.
That sounds like fun.
In New York, that happens all the time, dude.
Damn, that would be broke as shit then, because I'd probably be doing that every day.
Most people in New York
are broke as shit.
Because, you know, if rent isn't ripping their legs and arms off.
So where's the cheap place to live then? Is it Harlem or something like that? Is it like...
it's coming up now, but like the equivalent of Highland Park, which would be the cheapest in New York, is all the way in Queens.
So what about further out, like in the valley of New York? There's got to be some places where there's
you could go like super South Brooklyn to Sheep's Head Bay. It's like the furthest south you can go, but it's nice. But there's still affordability, but you're not anywhere near Manhattan, which is where everybody wants to be.
Yeah,
maybe. But like I had considered it for a while because it is a nice area because nobody's there.
Okay,
that's kind of the way New York, because everybody just wants to be in Manhattan or just on the other side of the bridges of any of those surrounding boroughs.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. What if I go to New York and don't want to come back? We'll never see each other again.
Thank goodness.
Oh, fuck you. Damn. I'll start my own podcast out there.
Go ahead. New Beast.
The All of My Business podcast.
The All of My Business.
This is my business podcast.
In direct opposition to Noob.
Maybe you guys can help me with that, because I had a friend and he's in Sacramento now, but he was like, Keenan, you lived in the two most expensive places your whole life. San Francisco and Los Angeles. It's like, can't you do your job at other places in the country where the housing, where you can get like a a 5-bedroom house for like $800 a month.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
Because he was telling me like he lives in like a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house in Sacramento, like $1,600 a month. I'm paying $1,200 a month for a studio the size of one of these booths. And
What does he do in
an
his free
apartment.
time?
He plays video games, but and watches movies and stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, Keenan, why can't I go to Nashville or Oklahoma or Utah and then do my job at those places?
You can, especially if your job is like you can do remote work. It's
like
just,
why don't I? Why don't I leave?
Because everyone
LA?
you love is here. You can always make. Look, I moved to New York. I made new friends, but it's not the same as being in LA. It's not. For no matter how many new friends I made, and I love those people. Like it's not you guys.
What about you, Joe? Because you've been to like places like Miami and Nashville and all that stuff.
Like I just can't. I can't do something that dramatic with
a family.
With the family.
Well, like what about in the past when you were like looking for work? It's like, why would you stay in Los Angeles? Maybe you could have found.
Oh, I never looked for work. Work came to me.
Fuck you, man.
the money would come to me.
Look at the smugness on Joe just sitting back with his beard laid back. Like,
hey,
what?
My guy, what do you mean?
He was like, what?
How dare you
when
ask
I
me that
was
shit?
looking for work. I've never looked.
Sitting in all his alpha might.
I know. That's why I do. That's why I gotta shut him down sometimes.
You can try, baby. But it's not gonna work.
Okay.
Let's. Well, speaking of
shutting you down. Trying.
And you know, just the all around work.
What do you got for us, Joe?
Philly was part of an album that was just recently released.
Oh, really? Like an album?
Yeah.
So this is no. I'll
drop it, man.
I'll let Philly take the platform.
Yeah.
Well, this is his project.
Here's the thing though. Like I just know that Pac-Man, the Gunman, has been sort of molded as an artist by Nipsey's camp and Nipsey himself. Like Nipsey was his mentor in a lot of ways, and I just happened to be part of the camp that because of our buddy Living Real brought us on to meet with like Siphon, and then through Siphon, we did a lot of work together. Joe, myself, Siphon, and in that circle we ended up meeting Pac-Man the Gunman. At one point it was just me there for something else. But Pac-Man happened to be there, and our buddy Kevin Ludwig had made a beat, which was a different version than it is now on the final take. And they were like, yo, you want to drop a hook on this? It was just timing, and I was like, sure.
And you're good at doing that on the fly.
Yeah, and so we went over a couple of revisions. Like an hour later, we had a hook, dropped it, and Pac-Man already had a verse to it. And then I guess they finished the rest of it, and now, I mean,
So technically, you can be getting paid for this, right?
Oh yeah, we did the whole. And here's the thing: out of everybody I've ever worked with, Siphon, Kevin, and Pac-Man, they were the only ones who ever asked me for like my BMI number. You know what I mean? The royalty split. They sent me all the forms, the release forms.
That's really cool.
They let me know that they were going to be putting something out with Billboard magazine. Like they did the whole thing legit.
Nice.
Like that's the difference between professionals and people who are just doing it for a hobby. Like legit, and not to mention, with the passing of the late Nipsey Hussle, like
this was after that, right?
Yeah, this was just fairly recently released.
Damn.
Yeah, I think it just released last week. It's called No Guts, No Glory,
and we can hear that on iTunes,
everywhere.
Yeah,
No Guts, No Glory. So we can hear you. So you'd be played on like MTV2 or something like that, or the radio.
I mean, I was surprised because even people from like my high school saw the post, and all of a sudden they started sharing and saying they were proud of me, and I was like,
what are you talking about?
How come you never hit me about it? But the name of the song,
I know this guy.
Yeah, the name of the album is No Guts, No Glory, and the track that I'm on is called Keep It 100.
Okay.
The essential message of the song is about somebody who's not worried about who they're with, even when they're not around, because they know that the person, they can trust the person.
Yeah.
So it's a song about trust.
So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, thanks for that. I wasn't even going to bring it up.
Yeah, of course I was going to bring it up. Put it on Trello.
So, I mean, is it possible that you could be making like couple couple $1,000s?
Well, I don't know. It depends. If the song picks up, though, I'd be super excited to make a video because it's kind of catchy.
And then you'll be featured on like Big Boy and all that stuff. And, like,
and that's when I plug my book.
And then Philly like leaves the podcast and shit. Now we're like, oh fuck. Now what are we gonna do?
He's looking for an excuse not to do his podcast anymore.
No way.
He's setting himself up. Like,
now he's on tour. And
I was just actually talking so when I went to that meeting with the dude that let her rip or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. He was telling me about how someone he was helping, because he's essentially a manager for talent, mm-hmm. and one of the talent that he was managing, he ended up like that person's the talent's fiance passed away for some crazy shit, right? Mm-hmm. And so this talent manager was like, what? So he dug into his bank account and gave all the money to help pay for like the burial costs or whatever was going on. Mm-hmm. And then to ensure that the guy would be able to pay him back, he got him a job as a cinematographer at some company.
Oh, cool.
And apparently, since the guy got the job, he just ghosted him and hasn't been making any payments. And the whole point that he got him the job was because he was going to pay him enough money so he could just pay him back over time. And so my thing is, right, because we were having a conversation. On top of that, we were having a conversation about how, like, it's all about working with your camp.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people who are on the come up, especially in the entertainment game, once they meet a celeb, they try to, like, latch onto that circle and be a part of that circle.
Right.
And even people like Scooter Braun had said, look, it's not in my best interest because I'm a record label, but you don't need record labels and you should always come up with your squad.
And these days, I don't think you do. Yeah.
Right. And so it's just funny to me that there are people out there who could receive that kind of help and then just dip.
Take advantage of it.
Like, how could you, like, if I ever do anything like that, like, slap me.
I'll break your legs.
Like, like as a photographer,
break your fucking legs.
Like, I posted something the other day. Like, I don't know how any photographer could ever get an ego trip. Like, dude, you should be lucky that people are letting you take a picture of them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't stand there and think you're fucking special. Don't ever get fancy, man. That's some bullshit.
We know a lot of people like that, especially in the industry, right? The music industry.
Yeah, you come across a lot of egos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are you?
Yeah, and everybody thinks they're the shit.
Like, you.
Why are you pointing at me?
As I love giving you shit.
Here's the thing about me.
Speak on it, Joe. Let's talk about it.
Speak on it, King.
You know? I just know. That's all.
Do you have to have that kind of mentality, like I'm the shit in the music industry to get noticed?
But I'm not in the music industry.
In the past, I'm just saying, in the past, your experience, the people that you've seen and work with, do you have to have that I am the greatest thought process so you can get some success?
Yeah, I think to some extent, you do want to know, you definitely want to be comfortable. You want to be comfortable knowing that, and confident knowing that you can do what you can do. No one can do it the way you do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel.
Outside of the realm of technical know-how, like, you do have to have, like, even if you don't know it, you have to know that you're badass enough to go figure it out anyways. Right. Like, there is a degree of that. I would agree with that.
Okay.
I mean, like, ego for the sake of vanity, though, I don't agree with. Like,
yeah.
So,
like, I'm the shit and you're not really, like, that's different.
There's the whole fake it till you make it thing, but there's a bit of truth in it, because even though you're technically not who
you want to
perceive yourself to be, you're still creating.
Right. Ever in the process of the evolution.
So faking it is only creation, because you got to figure out how to do it somehow.
Right. Before you can catch 150 Pokemon, you have to know that you've already committed to the idea and that you're going to be the Pokemon master.
Exactly.
Just look at Ash Ketchum.
Okay. A great role model.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The youngest old guy ever.
Yeah, that's true.
He's been 13 or 12 for fucking 20 years.
I'm going to be a Pokemon master.
What about Bart Simpson? He's older than Bart Simpson.
Oh, yeah. Bart Simpson, too.
And both of those characters are voiced by a woman. Isn't that great? That's fucking like,
Bart is like
the industry.
40.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Cowabunga.
Didn't I think they did an episode making a big joke about that. That they never age. But anywho,
Pac-Man.
Yeah,
No
Pac-Man the
Glory,
Gunman.
Philly.
Yeah.
Philly fanatic on that.
Congratulations,
Pac-Man.
Philly.
Thanks, man. I mean, honestly, like, again, I wish I could take. I mean, it's just being in the right place at the right time and being willing to work with people without an ego, without it being like, "Yo, pay me." You know,
that's
like,
Los Angeles in a butthole, in a hole.
A hole of butts.
I think, but me not having the confidence wouldn't have allowed me to be able to create that. Like I knew
Mhm.
that if you put me in the room, given
could do
all
something.
the work that I've done,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I can do this.
Yeah.
You know, so there
Yeah.
is a tying those two things together. I just didn't know that they were going to like blow. Like for me, it was just we're doing another track. I've recorded so many
Right.
hooks, done so many things with so many people, never went anywhere. They kept the ball in the air.
Same thing could be said about
Yeah.
us and this whole thing that we're doing. You never know. Somebody at some point will probably hear us and be like, how, what's going on? Why come you guys aren't like everywhere in the nation? And then help us
Find
out.
me that nude bunch.
Yeah.
Nude bunch.
You never know.
Well, it's like the story of the South Park. How
they were submitting their videos. It was like a
email,
Christmas card.
Yeah,
or
it was
something
like a
that.
Christmas card, email,
Yeah.
newsletter, and
Yeah.
then fucking
got passed
it
around.
just so happened to hit someone from Fox, and they were like, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
Ride with it.
So make friends and don't give up.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of sociology studies that show that people who have a lot of loose ties
Mhm.
tend to be more successful by sheer numbers. Like your percentages and your chances of being successful at something, whatever, quote unquote successful, is directly tied to the loose ties in your network.
Yeah.
Because it's like in any business adventure, like you want warm leads, right?
Yeah.
And so somebody introduces you, referral or whatever, like that's just the benefit of being someone who's willing to make friends.
Which is why I'm glad you came out to the show last night. I took
Right.
Philly. I invited Philly out to a show,
Which
of
was
of a
dope.
band that Joe noticed called Raised on TV.
They had 2 joints I was really with. Like,
Yeah,
wow. Like, I
yeah.
mean, they're good. They're a
they're
tight
dope.
band overall. Yeah.
But I told Philly to come early or the start of the whole show, not just their set. And there was 4 other bands before them.
Yeah.
And those 4 other bands were on fire. They were good that one band, I believe, could potentially be considered as the show stealer. And
Yeah, it was
I even
dope.
bought their CD and everything. And it was just like it
Oh,
was
one of the bands that was there.
Mm-hmm. They're
Not
from
raised on TV.
Not Raised on TV. They're from the Bay Area. It's a female lead singer who's on the drums while she's singing. and
Thrown
she's
out bones.
Throwing
right?
out bones. Yeah. And and they all played together too. with
Yeah, they
Raised
all
on
knew
TV.
each other. That was a cool thing.
And it was at this
Oh.
really cool spot in NoHo. I think you'll like it when you see the venue. It's some wild stuff. But
What is like the creative?
it's called CIA, Creative Institute of the Arts.
Yeah.
But it was a nice adventure. It was one of those things where it leads on to what Philly was talking about, what some of the things we're talking about on this podcast about taking a chance and going out and meeting people and
Absolutely.
making friends and not holding yourself to just the house or going out on an adventure and exploring your own city that you live in. You want to take trips to Rome, but you won't even know what's in the backyard of your own house. So it was cool to come out and you get to experience the possibility of something new that you never thought would be a part of your life. Hence why I was talking to Joe about earlier about him being a part of the football TSG.
TSG. Dang, you're just segue king today, aren't you? You're just segueing into the best topics.
Oh, you
Dedicate
totally
this
did take a
podcast,
trip
bitch.
too, huh? You took a trip to Colorado and everything, huh?
And I went to Portland.
Portland.
This
Oh, yeah,
weekend.
Oregon, yeah.
Let's get on
Joe
that,
literally flew in this
Jeez.
morning to do the podcast.
I am
I
dedicated to this show, Joe. I
literally
want to be a
flew
part
in.
of this so bad.
All right, Kenny, you redeemed yourself. We're going to let you go
Good
after
job,
today's
Keenan.
episode.
Good job. We were gonna let you go, but you've redeemed yourself.
Nice title for the episode. Good job, Kenny. You redeemed yourself.
That's
We
true.
were going to let you go.
Keenan gets to stay. That's the name of the episode.
Keenan gets to stay. Yet
Yeah.
again, he has narrowly avoided his cut. So
Talk about cliffhangers.
I know. So I went to Portland this weekend.
And
on
who
that
was playing?
Friday. Can I just tell my story?
No.
This isn't
All
an
right, Keenan,
interview.
we changed our minds.
You know what? We
I'm
take
back.
it back.
We take it
You're out of here. You're out of here,
Cut
buddy.
his mic off.
No, but so I went to Portland because I was gonna go meet a client and do like a site visit for work. And I found out that TSG, I'm sorry, the LAFC played in Portland that weekend. And I found out that some of the Tigers, I'm part of the Tigers supporter group, part of the 3252 union for LAFC.
I'm just name dropping.
I know.
No big deal or whatever. So I found out that they were going to be there too, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna capitalize on this. I'm already going to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
The squad is going to go, so I was like, fuck it, let's do it. I'm going to go. So it ended up
Synchronicity.
Mm-hmm.
for real. It's
The
crazy.
The universe was saying something.
It's crazy how the shit worked out, and I locked in that deal. So, it all worked out. But yeah, it was a dope ass game. We played the Timbers, the Portland Timbers, and we beat the shit out of them. Final score was 3-2. I mean, it was a great game. It was a great game. It was supposed to be their stadium opener, like, because they had a bunch of renovations.
In Oregon?
Yeah, so they reopened the stadium, and they just couldn't hack it. You
beat them on their home turf.
The black and gold came strong. I was Versace.
This was what
the
Joe
Versace
looked like.
Don.
Oh yeah, no, I saw the photo.
I was the Versace Don.
This is a picture of a World of Warcraft character and their top level gear. And this is Joe.
Dude, I showed up. So what I did, so I'm part of the Tiger supporter group, which is one of the groups. It's one of the supporter groups for the soccer team, and I bought a tracksuit that had like Tiger and Medusa imprints. So I looked it looked like a Versace suit. And I wore that shit.
Joe
And
had to be
everybody,
the
it was
coolest
just wild.
motherfucker there. Everybody was like, "Oh shit!"
No,
Yeah,
there were a bunch of people. We have a bunch of people that dress up too. But
did you guys have a red carpet and a whole gala?
He was a general.
Nah.
He looked like a general of a troop.
I'm not gonna say that either because we have capos and everything. But it was just dope. Like, it was dope. I never thought, because you guys know, like, Sean did the
That's
show,
right.
said,
That's
"Hey,
right.
why don't you come to the game?"
Yeah.
I was more than happy to go.
Experience.
And just like that, I just connected. The group that I'm part of is a Koreatown group. It's mixed
K-Town
Latinos
representing.
and Koreans. So I mean, we're incredibly diverse in our group.
And you can link it back to, like, how would you even meet Sean if you didn't have this podcast, for that moment to be asked to go to that event?
What do you mean?
I mean, Joe's been in touch with Sean more,
Yeah.
even though like Sean's my homie. Like Joe's always been Joe has a way of always being in touch with people. Like I'm a bad person to be in touch with because I'll just be focused on my own shit. But I think that's part of one of Joe's natural strengths as a person is his willingness to keep the ties strong between people he cares about. So it's like hard to get in, but once you're in, Joe makes sure you stay in touch. You know what I mean?
You're with me forever.
And I wanted to actually to keep the thread of friendship going. Like, can you guys remember a time where you didn't feel comfortable like starting a conversation with someone even though you wanted to? Because a lot of people
Usually with hot
don't
girls.
have the personality skills or social skills that we have. Like
Yeah.
we don't even think we don't even think for a second that this will go wrong by just saying what we think.
Well, I developed my skills to talk to anybody through Joe. So thanks to Joe, he
what's up?
actually made me
This fucking guy.
who
Hey,
I
my G.
am, in the sense that, because I didn't talk to anybody in high school. I sat up in the classroom during lunch, looking out the window, watching all the other students
Standing
play
there
around.
looking out my window.
Pretty much. And just, being a lonely loner until Joe was like, "Hey, come hang out with us at the theater department."
Took you under his wing.
I don't remember the exact day, but I knew
I
it was
don't
one
either.
moment where he did have me come through, and I literally stood next to him awkwardly, like I'm his like entourage or some bullshit like that.
It was just Tuesday for Joe.
And then eventually, slowly but surely, I would talk to him, talk to another homie of ours, Kevin, and try to do stuff in the theater.
Yeah.
I still wound up not making any other friends, but I was still approachable. And then knowing that I could make friends.
Gave you confidence.
When I went to college, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna hang with this person. I'm gonna talk to this person. I'm gonna be."
That's why your college
gonna-
stories are so crazy.
Yeah.
You took it to the limit.
Because Joe brought me in, but nothing happened.
Actively,
so I was
yeah.
super upset that nothing happened, even though Joe brought me into the crew.
So you were determined
And I
to
was
make it.
I'm gonna be Joe at SF State.
friends.
I'll be the Joe at SF State.
So it was like the movie The New Guy. You showed up at the college like doing the
Who's
eyes.
the bitch now? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the legend.
Yeah. But and I kind of wound up did because not just Joe, but there was another dude who, when I went to orientation at SF State, he would lead the group, and everywhere he went, somebody would say hi to him and shake his hand. He looked like he almost seemed like he was the jock, the popular jock.
Right.
And I was
looked like king shit, huh? He was the guy.
Everybody would just say hi and come and be like, oh, and it would be a lot of girls saying hi to him too, and be like, I'll catch you later.
I've met dudes like that when I took my little brother to college.
Like, I'm gonna be that guy, and then I wound up actually being that guy towards my second, third year, where my friends were like, when we would start at one end of the campus and walk to the other end, I would say hi to like 50 different people from different departments.
Oh, big man on campus. Oh.
I was.
And there's an important aspect there that I don't want to gloss over, and that's that at some point you were determined to reinvent yourself.
Yeah, it was. And it was a combination. Joe was the, what do you call it? Not the catalyst. He was the catalyst that started it.
The thing is that he didn't really reinvent himself.
Or revealed himself.
Yeah. I think you've always been this dude. You've just, like you've just needed not necessarily guidance, but just it's not guidance. It's more like,
it's almost like permission to be yourself. Like sometimes you don't know that you can be yourself.
Yeah, that's true too. No, I think it was influence. It was more like, oh shit, okay, I could do that.
You just needed the influence.
You just needed to see somebody do it so you could be like, oh, I could do that.
Sort of the way learning through osmosis, the way like cows can't talk to each other, but somehow senior cows are able to somehow transmit to. That's true.
We don't know that cows can't.
It's like Pokemon, they might be saying real shit, but we think it's just their name. Burger.
I don't. All these things that there's certain things within the science community that I don't fully support a lot.
Like we think it's just a
when Chewbacca talks and shit.
Yeah.
That's true, but Han Solo knows what Chewbacca's talking about.
Exactly.
True. And, it's leaning into the sort
do you
of
speak
fantasy. Maybe I do. But no, it's just like there's a lot of things. There's a lot of smart, intelligent people that have this ego that because they know their stuff better than most, whatever findings and statistics and information and data they get, that's like solid fact.
I agree with you.
For example, and it kind of pisses me off in a sense because it discourages a lot of people to get into the sciences and really explore and seek knowledge. It's like even Stephen Hawking was all about knowing information about black holes, and everybody was like fully supportive of him. And he would talk like, I know my stuff. And then like 20 years later, he's like, oh, everything that I learned about black holes is, thrown out the window. And it's like, what the fuck? During that whole period.
That's my main problem with academics.
Yeah.
Is that if any paper you read, all their arguments are based off someone else's arguments that has proven to be a stronger argument than other people's arguments. But at the end of the day, they can all still potentially be disrupted and proven wrong. And it's like, if you look at like all the footnotes, if you look at so-and-so's document or so-and-so's theories that they've proven, repeated in the series, whatever, and yet just because it's happened that way for some time doesn't mean it will happen that way forever.
And some of it's the explanation too. It's like if you listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson talk on certain topics in astrophysics, he won't explain the how. He'll explain the why and the where, but how we actually figured that out. It's like, oh yeah, we use this instrument and we can calculate it. Okay, well, what is that instrument? How did that instrument work? How was it, and all the process leading up to it? They just usually spit out results, and you have to take it as it should
based
be
on their
as
authority, right?
It's factual data, but it's not.
It's like when you have to explain your long division. Like how did you get that answer?
Yeah.
But that's not the glorious part. That's like the dirty work.
It
is though. That's the truth. Like
nobody wants to hear
dirty shit. Nobody wants to hear how.
I do.
You might, but then that's why they're textbooks. That's why they're books.
Even the books.
That's why.
Even the books would not be fully explanatory.
Then you're just not reading the right books.
You know what? You need to suck my balls.
They're just not giving you the secret sauce.
I'm telling you, I have those books.
I can tell you a thing or two about black holes.
Oh God, here we go.
I'm a
Okay.
learned man.
You're a
so-
learned man.
Jesus.
Have you been in a black hole? Yeah, fuck you.
Well, it depends on what you mean by that
Hey.
question. Ayo.
It was a long time ago.
Dude, when I think about the fact that like a bank is named Chase, like I don't like that at all.
Why? Because it's chasing your money?
Yeah, because you're chasing your. I know it's like someone's name, but
Or was
what
it the bank
fuck?
was chasing your money?
Yeah.
Well, shit. I mean,
So you guys didn't even let me finish my Portland story.
Oh, that's because nobody cared. Kidding.
Let's go TSG. We did it.
It looks pretty epic, dude. You guys look like a rowdy bunch.
Dude, we were so deep. Like
Yeah, it
the
was.
squad, no, like the squad was so deep.
But you guys are like 150
Like,
in number or what?
No, way more.
Really?
Way more.
you shut it
Because
down.
TSG alone?
Just TSG, our own, it was like 25 of us, just in
Right.
us. At least I want to say there were at least 25 of us. That's not including, and there's like 11
groups.
11 groups.
Mhm.
So just take that into
So it's a
consideration.
squad,
you know?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Damn.
Like it was crazy. It was nuts.
Can't
Like, we
wait
shut
for
the
a
shit
noob
down.
squad.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome. We have our own little.
I already told you what we
People.
gotta do. We just gotta get them sticker games
And
up.
and so that's the thing. Like, so you can naturally be a part of that. Like, I can't naturally be a part of that for as long as I've tried. Like, you know, the whole alpha, beta, and omega thing. I'm convinced that I may be an omega in the sense that like I just don't like you guys are my crew, but I feel like if
but I don't want to hang out with you guys.
no,
Like-
no, it's not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's like I don't know why, but it happened to me with masonry, with anything I've ever been a part of.
You didn't stay long enough.
I don't respect authority enough. Like I'm my own fucking person. I have no interest in being managed nor
Mhm.
managing others. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like my leadership style isn't necessarily leadership more than it is like I step in for what's needed and then I'm out.
So how do you go about daily work if work requires somebody to either be managed or to manage somebody?
Well, we'll see. So as a freelancer, I mean, just look at the nature of my work. I'm a freelancer, right? But
yeah.
it's getting to a point where as with anything, it's
Mhm.
growing beyond a singular person's capacity, and so I have to search for the leader within myself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I have to.
That's a
I don't-
good sign.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with being a leader. I can do it naturally. It's just like I prefer to be alone. And I don't know about you guys. Like I know Joe. Like he's always ready to lead a squad to victory. You know what I mean?
Joe's a boss.
He's always like,
big
let's
boss.
go.
I'm a worker bee. I like to be subordinate.
Keenan is-
Be told what to
you're
do.
too funny, man. It's the way you're saying it, dude.
it's I was my history is I was bred into being
And
a
we
worker.
took that test, right? The Y test. Remember
That's
the what's your
yeah.
Y? And Joe's was to challenge the status quo, which makes sense.
Mhm.
Joe's always like, oh yeah,
That's what I do.
let's see if
baby.
that's true, right? Where with you, it's like, well, how can I contribute to this? Like, how
Yeah.
can I add
I'm
to
an
what's going
inventor.
on? Right. And then my whole thing was to make sense of things.
Mhm.
So I can come in, organize it, and I'm done.
We're the triad.
Yeah. Like my whole thing is strategic.
Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. So, like, if you watch Attack on Titan, I may actually be Armin. You know what I mean?
I haven't seen it. Don't know it. What is it?
Damn, dude! Did
Are
you see
you
the last
Armin?
episode, dude?
No, I haven't seen the
Oh,
new
new
season.
shit.
Is the live
wish-
version of that cool?
The live
it's
movie
not-
was
it's
it's not
stupid.
it's not its time yet,
Mm.
bro. Like the graphics aren't there, man.
Yeah.
I was not a fan, but I,
think maybe-
Yeah.
I heard that big studios are picking it up now, though.
Should anime
Akira
just
just got approved, and it's gonna be
Finally?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
Finally.
Akira, and
That's
it's
right.
gonna be what's his name? What's his name?
Some white guy.
Taiki, the Waikiki. I think it's Taiti Waikiki, the director of Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay, yeah. Nice.
It's either him or
is Leonardo
Justin
DiCaprio still
Wan.
a producer for that?
No, I
Oh.
doubt it. Or it's or Justin Wan.
Gotcha.
Justin Wong.
It's gonna be
Okay.
one.
One.
I think he's the guy
W-O-N.
that did W.
He did Galaxy, right?
Oh,
Guardians of
Wong.
the Galaxy.
No, that was
I thought that was good. Guardians of the Galaxy. It was Justin.
No, I can't.
Are you talking about the horror director? The Asian
Yeah,
horror director?
yeah.
he
It's
did.
either gonna be him
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Taiki Waititi.
He did all this crazy not horrible horror stuff, The Conjuring. And
Yeah, but he also
Annabelle.
did something recently.
was
I
it
can't remember
was it
what
an action or was it horror?
Action.
Oh,
Anyway, so it's gonna be
yeah.
one of those two. So I
Right.
think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be good, and it's gonna be based in Neo Tokyo.
Really?
That's
So,
good.
They're sticking with the roots.
is there
which I love.
any like information released about who's going to be casted in it?
No.
Because Akira is like
Why can't it just be all? Why, there's a
potentially
gap.
the best known anime to American audience.
Yeah, to American audiences.
Is it?
yes. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, second maybe only to Ghost in the Shell,
I was gonna say Ghost in the Shell or maybe Princess Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke. Yeah, well, the
Maybe?
Miyozuki, what is it? Miyozuki, Miyo Haruki. What's
The director, right? The
yeah?
creator of all that
Damn,
stuff.
I'm ashamed.
I thought I could have sworn
Forgive my ignorance.
maybe I thought maybe. Well, technically, no. It'd be like Pokemon would be the most known thing in the United States.
I
from
just
Japan
don't
as
consider
far as-
Pokemon an anime.
Oh,
I
really?
consider it more like a cartoon, really, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know, like an anime to me is like
Is Cowboy Bebop an anime? to you,
yeah,
or
Cowboy
okay.
Bebop, Samurai Champloo.
Okay.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. Trigun.
yeah, Trigun, yeah, especially Trigun. Like
Yeah.
that's like, but those are deep cuts. You know,
Okay.
even something like Tenchi Muyo or Yu Yu Hakusho.
Tenchi
you know
Muyo,
what
I
I mean?
forgot about
Lupin
that.
the Third.
Yeah.
You know,
Lupin.
No, Astro
Oh,
Boy.
the creator that just died like 2 weeks ago.
no shit.
Lupin. Yeah.
Damn. Damn. Oh,
Yeah, like-
we missed out seeing Godzilla. By the way, we're supposed to. Or you already saw
I
it?
want to.
You already saw it?
No, I haven't seen.
We should see it today.
Mm.
I wanted to see
I
that.
can't.
Fucking bitch.
Why am I bitch?
So as you can
Because-
see, Keenan doesn't ever approve of Joe's opinions
I
unless they
know.
go his way.
Yeah,
I know.
it's just stupid. It's like,
Is it
what the
your
fuck?
way or the highway, Keenan?
No, I'm usually, like I said, I'm subordinate. I do whatever anybody else says. I never get my own.
Do you not want to be that way?
I don't know if I can. I don't think you've ever seen me. I don't know how I don't know how to do it. I just don't know how
He's
I can
always
bring my,
put up a fight.
have I?
Well, I don't know.
I complain a lot.
You
but-
single-handedly booked a band at a venue
Several times. Mhm.
So I guess it just depends on the arena.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't know, maybe when you hang out with us, again, part of the reason the podcast works the way it does is we all just play our roles. You know.
Naturally. None of us would say I'm going to act this way or be this way in this environment.
And
this platform.
do you think friendship has a lot to like connected to that, where like people start a conversation and then sort of non-verbally discover where their roles are going to be?
I don't know.
You think?
I think, yeah.
I'll give you an example. My other two buddies that Joe's played with on Destiny, John and Andrew from the Bay Area, they're like my Joe and Philly from up there. They tried to start their own Twitch live stream podcast stuff, and it was almost they talk the way we talk when we're playing games, and I thought it was going to be exactly like that. Humor, contemplating stuff in the universe, talking about what's going on screen, laughing, joking, and it was almost dead silent with a few conversational topics. And I was like, the chemistry's not right, because the chemistry is great.
So you guys shit suck.
Oh, whatever, fucking Joe.
You're the one that's in it.
But I'm saying in a more polite manner, Joe.
I know.
God damn.
Well, I mean,
And
if
I'm
you've
referencing
noticed,
it to us.
Hey, but
well,
what
they-
up, guys?
They probably ended up staying. Yeah, I mean, what's up? I haven't met you guys, but if Keenan likes you,
Well, no,
we're likely
I'm
good.
just saying, like, their chemistry environment are so cool when it's like this, where it's like, yeah, why aren't we just having somebody record us play video games? So we say some of the most random stuff.
Let's not forget that we've kind of deviated.
That's what I'm
from
saying,
that platform.
because it took away from the
we
conversation.
did, but it could have happened to them too.
Maybe.
But it didn't get past that stage. It didn't even get to that stage yet. They only did like 3 episodes or something like that.
Well, because the other
Excuse
thing
me.
is you have to like it. Like we clearly like doing this.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't be doing it otherwise.
Yeah.
God damn right.
Sometimes it's like people who want to be actors or singers or anything in entertainment. You have this dream, you start going down the path, and you realize it's not what you thought it was.
Yeah.
You're no longer interested in it. You know, like
Right.
the only way that's probably what happened. They were just like, I don't think this is exactly what I thought it was.
So do you both agree that people should switch and change if they feel like they need to change, or they should stick it out and
Always.
put some effort into it
I
to
think
see
you
if
should
it does need to
I think you should constantly be changing. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you should constantly be asking, is this something I still want to do? Otherwise, and because in asking that, and you get to answer why, and in answering the why, you start to then be able to evolve it. You know, it shouldn't be static. It's just like life. It's fluid. It's always moving. It's alive.
What if you give up too quickly or too easy? You never gave it a chance to really work at it.
I
just
feel
said it's
like
not
I
for
feel
me and
like
move
I
on.
feel like as a healthy person, like granted you don't have any sort of
Health.
handicap, a sort of handicap, like you can sort of intuit whether or not you're giving up on yourself, or if it's clearly just something that you're just not into.
Okay.
I feel you.
And if you're giving up on yourself, like take a moment to ask, like, could I bring on some help? Maybe someone who can fill that role that I can't.
Mm.
Like that's it's about asking the questions, not the answers, man. You know.
Keenan, I'm gonna be so pissed with you if you go watch Godzilla without me.
Was that what you were thinking this whole time?
I was thinking, yeah, I was. I'm not gonna lie.
I should do that.
I'd be so pissed.
Oh man.
Fuck your shit up, motherfucker.
Because it's a continuation of Kong,
Keenan,
right?
Keenan, I guess we should go get a refund for our tickets.
You fuck.
That's not true. It's not true.
I'm thinking Tuesday.
Because I know
Maybe
you would
Tuesday.
do that. You would do that.
I probably would.
Yeah, see, but I
But-
can't.
No, remember you're the subordinate one.
Oh, that's right.
You're
right.
the subordinate. We lead, you follow. Come on, get with the program. Follow the program.
Oh, jeez.
Follow the
Tuesday.
leader.
I'm
leader,
thinking Tuesday,
leader.
though.
Follow
Tuesday.
the leader.
Okay, Tuesday. Tuesday.
Going up
Let me think.
on a Tuesday.
I mean, I could easily wait a whole nother week. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
I'll
I
keep
wish I
myself
could go-
busy.
I wish I could go today, but I can't.
Yeah, it's fine.
Wait, so you're saying you don't want to go Tuesday?
Well, I'm saying like if Tuesday is kind of iffy or weird, let's just do it on next weekend.
He said that
Next
he'll
weekend,
see you
Friday,
then,
Saturday.
or he'll see you at another time.
Yeah, it's not. It's a movie I want to go see, but I'm not. I don't know. It's not like the Marvel movies, you know.
Right.
Dude, I
Or it's every man for himself.
super want to see
Spider-Man,
Godzilla.
Godzilla. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I have to watch Godzilla.
Oh
like,
yeah. Okay.
No matter what.
Okay.
I couldn't this weekend.
Yo,
because
Chucky's gonna be dropping pretty soon.
Chucky
too, though.
is gonna be
Yeah,
dropping, but
At the
I'm
same
big
time
on-
as Toy Story. Which
Yeah.
one would you rather go see?
Toy
None.
Story.
I
He
wouldn't.
said
I wouldn't
without
see
a
either.
question, Toy Story.
I'd undoubtedly watch Toy Story before I watch Chucky.
I mean, it's Tom Hanks, bro.
I'm already it's because horror movies aren't really
Right. I mean, I get it. They don't
It's
do
not
shit
that
for
they
me.
don't do
They
shit.
don't-
they don't do the only one the only horror movie that I'm actually looking forward to seeing is It. But that's
okay.
because it's Stephen King. Like
yeah.
and I'll fucking
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Although the
I'll
only movie that
consume
has
anything
ever
Stephen
scared
King.
me was because I thought it was real was The Fourth Kind.
Yeah.
The Alien movie. That's the only one that ever made me paranoid as I was driving home. Or it's not that Key and Peele scared. You see that one where they're like, that movie was whack. And then they're like, you parked over there? Yeah, I'll walk you to your
I'll
car.
walk you to your Yeah,
Yeah.
but I gotta watch Godzilla.
See,
Okay.
if there was anybody I think I'd love hanging out with, it'd be Key and Peele, dude. Those dudes just seem like part of the same, like,
They
I
would
don't think
improv
so.
pretty heavily with you. They would do a lot of improving.
Joe's like, I don't know if I
I don't
roll
think
with
so.
You
them.
can't vibe.
No, I don't think I'd be able to vibe with them.
Really?
Like I like them, I like their comedy, but I don't think they have a natural comedy.
Oh, yeah?
I think their
like
shit
scripted?
really is scripted. Like because obviously, like all the shit they do is
Oh, yeah, skits. Yeah.
yeah, they
Mhm.
were all skits, they were scripted, like all of it is scripted.
Have you ever
Mhm.
seen
because
them?
because consider take this into consideration. When you watched Key and Peele, how often did you take interest?
Oh,
Between-
before when they
between
were just talking to
skits.
each other. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like anytime they did the shit between
forced.
skits, it was forced. It was
Yeah.
boring. Like I never really liked it.
Mm.
I only
Mhm.
liked the scripted shit
Yeah.
because it was funny to me. So
Yeah.
if naturally what they were doing between skits, if that was them being, natural and just, doing what they were doing, like then it didn't attract
That's
me at all.
interesting. It's kind of like with dancing. Like, I can't do like count dance, like 1, 2, 3,
Like the
4,
waltz?
5,
You can't
6,
do waltz?
7,
No?
8. I can't do that. But the minute I don't have to worry about counting anymore,
Mhm.
I move a lot more. I move with more freedom, like naturally. I'm not tense. I'm not all.
Yeah.
The idea of counting, like the structure and all that troubles me. Whereas being able to improv is totally like I feel way more comfortable because I'm
Yeah.
like anything can
Mhm.
happen.
Yeah.
You know.
I rarely see you dance. I've seen Philly dance on the dance floor quite heavily, but I don't see you dance.
Because I'm a
Joe.
maniac on the dance floor, bro.
Yeah.
Because I don't really care to dance.
I barely see you do a two-step, but I
My
don't see
little
you
baby
wow.
two-step.
I
I
don't-
can dance.
I
can
know you
absolutely
can, but I
dance.
never
Just
see you
like
wow
pull
out.
up my pants and do the rock
Do the
away.
rock
Hey,
away, player.
But I want to see you like go on the dance floor like I see Philly on the dance floor
I
or
don't
me
need
on the
to.
dance floor.
I don't need to.
Oh, fuck you.
Hey, I will say this though.
I don't
no, no.
peacock.
You don't peek.
I'm gonna leave this for my soapbox. I just thought of my soapbox.
Oh, you
so,
did?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, he's got one before. Well, pre-planned. He has a
Oh.
pre-planned soapbox.
And if you noticed, I'm learning not to go on a fucking monologue on this. Keep the conversation going.
Oh, because of what I did last podcast.
No, I mean it's something I want to learn in general because I do come off pretty intense.
Well, I mean,
I think but that's part of this situation.
we don't
you have that
interrupt you that
element of you. You know,
Yeah.
You have that element of just being able to speak.
You have a
and
lot to
just-
say.
Yeah.
I do. I got a lot to say. I should have a shirt that says something like, I got a lot to say. Could you imagine if someone had a shirt? Oh, you got a lot to say? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah. What do you?
Like Ron Swanson.
Like, yeah, too much.
See, Joe comes off to me like Ron Swanson, like goes to Home Depot. He's like, I know
does?
more than you.
In life, maybe.
Oh man.
Maybe.
Has anyone in like a Home Depot ever tried to tell you like what you might need instead, and you're like, nah, bro, I need
get it all
this
the time.
exactly.
Yeah,
I usually avoid them.
that always happens to me. I'll be in there like, hey, so I see you looking at that. You want to try this? And I'm like, nah, dog, this is what I need. I know what I need. I know what I'm coming in here for.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay.
He's like, oh, okay. Is that a corded or is that a wireless? I was like, it's wireless, player. Oh, but there's more torque in the corded. Yeah, but if I wanted the corded, I would get the corded player. Like, I got to move around, so I need a corded.
See, I knew it.
Yeah.
He's totally Ron Swanson, bro.
Yeah.
Totally Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
If I was any character from that show, I'd be that I do that Rob Lowe plays.
Yeah, you would.
I'm gonna try this new vegan thing, and it's gonna be.
Dude, who would I be? Would I be Benjamin? Would that be my character? Would it be Ben?
Ben?
Yeah.
Nah.
The nerdy dude?
No. You're Tom Haverford for sure.
What?
Aziz?
Aziz?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess
for
so.
sure.
Yeah.
Trying to start your own clothing
Clothing
line.
line.
and
You
shit.
try to do, you're trying different avenues to try shit.
Rent a
Yeah.
swag.
Treat yourself.
Hey, treat yourself.
Yeah.
Melissa would easily fall under the Aubrey Plaza. Is that her name?
Audrey
Plaza.
Plaza. Yeah.
She's totally like deadpan, like whatever.
What is her name on the show? I forgot.
Her name was.
I don't know any of the names on
Damn.
that show.
I used to know every character's name.
From Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because it was like my other Community. I used to know everything about Community.
The few times that I was on the
Yeah.
set of Community, it was really interesting to see like the process of how much actors don't actually read the script and like
yeah.
they have to learn the lines
All
as
at the
they're doing
spot.
the take.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what?
Same, and for like movies like Avengers, where you're not supposed to give away secrets or anything like that, they won't give you the script till like the date of like you only get a few.
Which is why
lines
they
here
have
and there.
such strong actors carrying the roles because
But a lot of times you're not saying the whole monologue in front of one camera. You say a little bit, cut this side, a little bit, cut this side, and you probably only have to say like 2 sentences.
yeah,
before you
usually
have to cut it.
most scenes are shot like 3 times,
Mhm.
just based off angles and shit. Unless you have that
Yeah.
kind of gear.
Yeah, or if it's meant to be a one-shot thing where
Right.
you are saying something
Right.
for a long time.
In fact, most actors, like especially in scenes where there's 2 people, sometimes some actors aren't even available because they have other commitments, and you're
so
just
somebody
like
just
you're
staring
just speaking to a fucking camera or
Mhm.
or
a
the
ball.
what they call the second team, which is just stand-in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's fucking crazy to me, man. Like
yeah. Hollywood is
it's all
interesting.
that's how you know like movies is a director's medium, not an actor's medium. You want to be
Directors,
you want to be an
producers,
actor and you want people to
you
care
do
about the
theater.
work. You do theater.
Yeah.
Theater.
And they all go back to
Yeah,
do theater.
because the same editor can make you look like shit
Mhm.
if you piss them off. Yeah,
A lot of those actors would go into theater. Some of them I would be surprised. I wouldn't even know that they went into theater and then got like Tonys and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston.
yeah.
and
Well,
stuff
Bryan
like that.
Cranston's a bad,
But he's
motherfucker.
always been
Yo,
known as a theater.
If we could
dude.
get Bryan Cranston on the podcast, that would none of us here would disagree to that, right? He's just
I wouldn't disagree.
No.
he's just one of those dudes, man.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
of those guys. I mean, Malcolm in the Middle's dad. You know what I mean?
But
Malcolm in the Middle, like his name is Malcolm in the Middle. I mean, Malcolm in the Middle's dad, my guy. Yo,
My
Malcolm
guy.
in the Middles. Malcolm in the Middles.
Malcolm's.
Malcolm's in the middle, yo.
I never actually watched that whole show. I've seen a few episodes, and the only one episode where I saw clip it, which I thought was the best gag joke of all time in television history, is when they did the fireworks and bought a fireworks from Mexico or something like that, and they brought
Right.
it back. And it's supposed to be so big, it was going to be like a nuclear explosion.
I don't remember that.
But it was even bigger than that. So at the very end, the very last scene of the end, like practically when they were rolling the credits, it was nighttime, and then they lit the firework up, and they were only like maybe I don't know, a couple 100 yards away from it, and then when it lit up, they edited it out so that night turned into daytime.
No shit.
Because it was such a big explosion. It literally looked like the sun was turned on for like a second.
Damn.
And then it went back to nighttime, and then they were all blind. But I was like, that is the best gag. Because mostly when they do firework jokes, it's like a nuclear explosion or something. But they literally turn night into day.
Oh,
I was like, that's
they
brilliant.
spliced in a day recording.
Yeah, they must have stood in the same spot, didn't move,
Yeah.
and then record the same thing in the same spot and didn't move.
As
And
you
they
say
flipped
that,
it.
I think about one of their friends from that show and the crew,
Mhm.
the kid with the glasses who had like asthma or whatever in the wheelchair, I think it was. And I think how easily he could play Hannibal Buress, like young version.
Oh yeah, you could. Yes, you could. Yeah.
I think you should.
I know that. They filmed that. They filmed some episodes of that at our high school.
That
Bro,
should
they
be
did,
so
yeah, yeah.
hilarious.
They used
dude.
our
April
theater
Ludgate.
April Ludgate.
April Ludgate.
Who's that?
That's
Audrey.
Audrey Plaza. Or,
Yeah.
Oh, April Ludgate.
Yeah.
Damn, Joe was searching for it, bro. In his
Yeah.
memories.
I connected because of Andy Dwyer.
And I still don't know who that is.
She's married to him.
Oh, I see.
Andy, yeah, that's Chris.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt's
Oh,
character.
gotcha.
And Jean Raffio.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I was on Parks and Rec too. I forget
John
for what
Raffio
episode.
is hilarious.
Jean Raffio.
I wanted to see more of him, like on a spinoff. Him and his sister.
Ben Schwartz is
hilarious.
And what's her? Jenny Slate.
Yes, and Jenny
Jenny
Slate's in a
Slate
whole
is
bunch of shit.
fucking-
She's like blowing up in a lot of stuff, doing
Yeah,
some
she-
SNL things.
I don't know
and
who
whatnot.
that
She
is.
did Venom. She was the doctor in Venom.
Yeah, if you saw Venom,
I saw Venom.
Remember
the
with
doctor
the
in Venom.
symbiotes?
doesn't sound familiar.
Oh, she's the one that let him in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But those two characters could totally do their own show.
Oh,
I was like,
that
when I
was-
saw him, I was like, "Who is this guy? He's funny."
No shit.
Ben Schwartz.
He's
Yeah.
such-
Ben
Fucking-
Schwartz. Who's that?
And he's in a lot of stuff too, but not
He
as
plays
much.
John Raffio.
I don't know who that is.
He's
What
Tom-
other movie was he in?
Tom Haverford's best friend,
Nope.
his business partner.
So stupid.
I forgot what other stuff.
He was
He's
in
a couple of stuff.
House of Lies.
Yes,
Mm.
House of Lies.
Haven't seen that either.
He's the new Leonardo in the new Ninja Turtle series on Nickelodeon.
Didn't he do a cameo
He's-
in a Marvel movie?
He's playing. I don't know that he
I
did.
feel like he did.
He's playing Sonic the Hedgehog in the live action Sonic.
Oh, cool.
That's
movie.
cool, man. I still don't know who that is.
It's but you'll
I'll look
we'll
him up.
some
You,
clips.
as
yeah.
soon as you
Look him
see
up.
him, you're gonna
Yeah.
know it's Ben Schwartz.
Yeah, funny dude.
Super
man.
funny dude.
I'll look him up.
Jean Raffio was made for him.
Yeah, it was.
Jeez Louise.
I mean, quite possibly might have.
Yeah, I
it
think
had
so.
to. I
It's-
mean, just
Dude,
I can't see anybody
his
else playing it
demeanor
like
and-
him.
You know what's crazy to me when I talk to like my friends who are in the acting game and they all sign up to like the Groundlings or the Underground Citizen Brigade or whatever. All that.
Yep.
Like the amount of money they pay to be a part of that, and as actors who clearly don't have any money,
Mm-hmm.
it blows my mind. Talk about playing lotto, investing in what you like in yourself and believing in yourself, you know. And then if you miss a day or two,
You're like out.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
outed and you can't ever get back in, even though you paid. Like it's some crazy
wild stuff.
shit. And a lot of these actors that we like that join all these funny shows, they all come from that camp.
Mm.
And that's just crazy to me, man.
I was hoping to introduce you to one of them. Her name's Molly. I know her from SF State, but she's part of was it, I
UCB?
think Upright Citizens Brigade or something like that.
Right.
And she did some stuff with Groundlings and what I saw one of her shows at the Comedy Central stage over in Hollywood. She's the one who got me into what do you call it? Escape rooms, which we all got to do, by the way. One of those. escape rooms.
we have to do an escape.
That's
room.
true.
Mhm. She got me into that, and it's interesting hearing her perspective on all that stuff.
Go
What
ahead.
if we recorded an episode
I don't
while
think
we did
I
an
don't think
escape
that's
room?
allowed in the escape rooms.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That'd be
Wow.
a lot of
sick.
them say you can't even bring out your phone.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, it depends. What if we show them the amount of people that are listening and say, hey,
I
look,
don't know.
this is the kind of people that are going to be looking at it. Do you want to maybe create a room story or something that's specifically for that?
But we'll be giving away how to do it though.
No. Create a room story specifically for the promotion of your business that we try to figure out.
Without giving away how to solve certain puzzles.
Well, this puzzle is going to be specifically for the podcast episode. See what I'm saying?
That might be asking a lot out of them to do that. I won't
You
push
never
it
know.
back, but
You never know.
You never know. That is true.
You know? Because I do understand it's proprietary technology.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
They're cool though. They're not. But it's very like I don't want to say cheesy, but you'll notice that the art and decor is like they're putting effort into it, but it looks like they stopped. Like it looks like there's no budget.
You got to go to the Escape Hotel.
The fancy ones, yeah. Those fancy ones
Escape Hotels
are good. Yeah.
It's dope.
But I've been to a lot that are just like, in a warehouse in downtown or somewhere else.
Yeah. I don't go out,
together.
so you guys all just have to take your word for it.
They're fun. They're very fun.
So
I mean, it's always a good time with Keenan, right?
Yeah. Except for Joe.
Joe rolled his eyes like the Robert
Not
Downey Jr.
always.
meme.
Joe's
Not
the only.
always.
Oh my god! You said the exact opposite in the last episode.
I know I did. Yeah.
Been talking about going to our bar and shit.
I have to talk about
Have to, damn.
Lucky Day, man.
The artist?
Yeah.
Wake up. Na, na, na.
Artists or comedian?
Homie
Wait, who?
Lucky Day.
Lucky Day. He's I like him. I like his music.
Okay, so he kind of came into the scene mid last year with like a little 3-track EP.
Lucky Day.
It took off.
He's like a Frank Ocean.
He
newer.
released a
Okay.
second. It was a 4-track EP. He released the second one. That one had like 5 tracks.
Mhm.
And then 2 weeks ago, last week, he released his album.
Mhm.
Now, basically, it was
That's probably his mixtape dropping. That's why the ambulance is out there right now.
hot
Shit.
fire.
So everybody's liking him.
He's
He
a
sounds.
yeah. So he came onto the
Damn.
scene and he's just taking off. So he released his album last week. It's called Painted.
Oh, he finally released the full album?
Yeah, and basically it's both of his EPs plus like four new tracks.
It's like
Okay.
slow jams.
I'm gonna tell you right now,
It's like disco meets funk meets
those
R&B.
4 new tracks that he released,
Is it like on the level of like Emotional Oranges?
I have to
dude,
listen
it
to
was
it.
worth it. Even though we've heard
All the other stuff?
75% of that album already,
What was like with Miguel when he first came out?
dude. The fucking 4 additional tracks that he released: Floods, Call, and
have to write
Try
this
Your
down.
Fire.
Can I
Yeah.
listen
No,
to
I'll
this?
I'll let
Send
you
it to
know.
me?
I'll
Okay.
I mean,
send it to you.
yeah, if you like neo soul in general, then chances are you would like Lucky Day.
Yeah, this guy's
Like
holy
if you're into listening to like if in your roots of music is like Erykah Badu or the Fugees or Frank Ocean,
He's in
things
that
like
style?
that, then
Okay.
like you would be into that.
yeah,
Is
you
it-
would definitely
Is it like
get
singable or is it danceable? Like you like want
Both.
to dance with it or you want to sing
Both.
with it?
both
Both. Yeah.
because he has a lot of neo soul elements, but he also has a lot of funk.
Cool.
Like it's sick.
Okay.
Anyway, so I just any of the listeners out here, like
The one to be put on.
listen to fucking Lucky Day, especially if you like soul, funk, all that shit. Like,
Oh, cool.
you're gonna love Lucky Day. That's LUCKY Day, DAYE. I've just been moved by it. It's all I'm listening to right now.
It's
I'm
very
listening
hard to
other shit,
impress Joe.
but literally, like this Painted album is all I've been listening to for the most part.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's good. I know I'm a big fan myself, but I also know that it's not necessarily like Keenan doesn't necessarily listen to like a lot of R&B because it's like love music. You
I
know
need
what I
something
mean?
faster. Maybe that's why I'm not
Trust
with
me,
all the ladies.
listen to Lucky Day's new album.
Okay.
He has a couple of tracks in there that I think you'd really like. If I had to say, because you're very music oriented, like you
I
like
listen.
instrumentals.
Yeah.
And he has some amazing shit. Listen to Roll Some Mo, listen to Real Games, listen to Try Your Fire. I think
Mhm.
Try Your Fire is probably going to be the one you're going to like the most
Mm.
because it's the most groovy. It
Yeah, because
definitely
you
moves
do like lo-fi hip hop, boom bap, and
Heavily. Yeah.
things of that nature. You know,
Yeah, you're going to like this dude for sure.
and he adds some of those elements to his
Cool.
stuff, but he's still a singer. You
Okay.
know what I
I
mean?
mean, shit. I was listening to the rock country blues on the way over here.
That's true.
So my
You're expanding your repertoire.
repertoire is very vast. It's always been very vast. But
Yeah,
if people ask me,
It has.
Keenan just isn't an R&B dude. You know what I mean?
I think because there's R&B songs I listen to and I'll hear them, but I wouldn't purposely seek them out. So I listen to everything. But the
Gotcha.
only things I actually fully search for would be the lo-fi, boom bap, or some sort of heavy rock music.
If I had to say anything, I would say, in all honesty, I think this is probably one of Liz Lucky Day's album is probably an instant classic.
You
Like,
think,
Really?
you think it's like a Billboard Top 100 kind of
I
thing? or
really
like-
hope it does because it deserves it.
Like
Nice.
Channel Orange
Okay.
or something like that.
Yeah, it deserves
Wow.
everything that it gets. It deserves because it's one of those that you could just press play.
Oh, from beginning to end. Nice.
You can absolutely if you like the kind of music that it is,
Mhm.
but it's definitely worth just like it's worth listening to it at least once all the way through.
Okay.
No skips.
Well, let's start booking them some shows in Los
It's
Angeles.
a dude. It's a dude.
That's a dude. Yeah,
He's
Just one dude.
that's what I said. It's like kind of
Oh,
like Frank
he's a
Ocean,
singer.
but
He's a-
yeah.
and he's a singer, like an actual singer.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's not like any of these trap singers out here right now, and these
With
fake.
the auto tune.
Yeah, he does none of that. This guy is legit 100% a singer.
He's one of these. Woo, yeah.
He does well. No. He's not super exaggerated with the runs,
Right.
but he's very creative in how he sings. He's very creative in some of his melodies.
Right.
He's just phenomenal, man. He's phenomenal. So
Hmm.
you guys aren't the first ones I've told. I've recommended him to, but I consistently talk about this guy because
You were pretty excited about Billie Eilish when she first came out.
Yeah, that died for me though because
Started saying the same.
that girl's fucking weird, man.
I mean,
I
that's
just
what
can't
she's
be
going
behind-
for.
She is going for that.
Like
and
she's playing.
I
on
just
it.
can't get behind it. Like
Yeah.
initially, yes, and I mean she's a little girl still, so she has a lot of time to still develop herself and where she's gonna.
She's
be,
definitely got
but
the
she's-
talent for it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
She has the talent for it.
But you're right. She's playing
I
on the
think she's
idea
just
of
playing.
being
Yeah,
weird.
she's just trying to be weird, and that's good for her if it's working because it's obviously working. But
Yeah.
for me, I really enjoyed her music, but it's just she's weird as fuck. I can't get behind that. I can't.
When was the last time you heard a rock band that you were like, yo, I fuck with this?
A new one.
Raised on TV. There's this band called Raised on TV
Mhm.
Nice.
that if you've ever heard of them, they're pretty sick.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to
Jeez.
this.
He went to their show last night.
I know you did.
Oh, he did?
That's what
Okay. That
he was asking me a
But
question
like,
about
he's also
rock.
being pretty honest about it. Probably
Yeah.
the last
Dude,
time.
Raised
Yeah.
on TV sick. I
Yeah.
like them.
There was an
Because like, make no mistake, Joe likes rock too.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we went to fucking Wolf Mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're opening act too. The
Yeah.
60 whatever
Something on Queen or
White
Water,
Queen
Water-
60s or something like that. I can't remember what the name. I
Shame
have it
on
saved
you
on my
guys.
phone, but those motherfuckers were sick.
They were fire. It was
Yeah.
great. Yeah. I think it because there's some new ones that are recently within the past couple of years. Some that I never got a chance to tell Joe about, but you might know them. Royal Blood is this 2-man group.
They're like the Black Keys or something.
Like the Black Keys, but they're heavy. Like the rock is, I would say, probably a little bit heavier. But there's also Rival Sons.
Oh, I've heard of
They've been
them,
around for a
yeah.
while, and I can't believe I didn't catch them out a long time ago. I would have went to their show.
I mean, have you noticed the trend that like it's all hip hop based now? Not even pop music is important anymore. Like rock and pop have all kind of
They're
like
fading out.
yeah, they've kind of been pushed to the side, and hip hop has just hit the front and center of culture and music. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a
It's
huge
insane.
cultural influence.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure,
insane.
for sure.
in fact, rock and pop are taking direction from hip hop in order to stay relevant. Like that's the crazy
Lil
shit. to me.
Nas X, Old Town Road.
I don't even know what that is.
That's that country singer.
Oh, the black country
the
rapper.
black country dude.
Yeah. I saw a post.
Yo,
on
that shit was
page.
trapped like a motherfucker. I don't know how they could think that is country, but I mean it has country elements. So
Yeah.
he
He dresses in cowboy boots.
his theme. The
Is that
theme
why
is very
YG? I don't know
country.
what the hype is around YG dressing like a fucking norteño Mexican.
Oh,
And
it's a mariachi. He's
Oh,
dressed as a
that's what it
mariachi.
was.
Oh.
But I mean, he's just showing love to the Mexican culture.
is it?
That's why that
or is that appropriation in itself?
that
I wouldn't know. Because he does he do
No.
it just once or does he do it
It's
multiple
not the
times?
first
I don't
time it's not the first time that he
Like,
reps.
I don't know. I don't listen to his music, so I'm not going to pretend to know. I saw that and I was
It's,
like,
it's not the first time that he
Mm.
reps like Mexican culture.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah, he's been known to just
which because everybody
show
was like
love.
blowing it up. They were like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Mm.
That's why everybody's excited about it because he's just showing love.
gotcha,
Oh, okay.
Same way. I think he's trying to continue Nipsey's legacy,
gotcha.
Oh.
and Nipsey was a man of the community. So I think that's what YG, because YG and Nipsey were friends.
Oh,
They were friends, like close friends.
gotcha.
So I think he's just trying to continue.
Well, that's
his-
dope. I
his
mean, I don't
message.
know. I got for
With
all
inclusion.
yeah.
We're all the same. We're all
And honestly, I do believe that's one of the reasons why me musically I never took off was that I don't really like. Not only do I not know a lot about the culture, I also personally don't care much to know. And I think that
Did you do some Hispanic music?
no,
song? What?
just music culture in general.
Oh, okay.
Because music and culture.
I think
are
more the
synonymous.
hip hop scene for you.
Yeah.
though. It's like you're
like I don't care. I don't know, but I like to rap. But I think I personally, like, for any people who do music, I personally believe, my theory is, my hunch is that a lot of the reason why my shit never took off was because I don't care about the culture. That's why I don't know how to contribute to the culture. And that's why the culture doesn't support the things that I've done, because I don't even care to
So
take
you're
the time.
telling me you have a wasted gift?
Yeah, basically.
I like your new
No,
stuff.
that's true. Though.
No,
Your
it's
new
because
stuff is
if you
great.
listen to my project, it's dope. But like, I don't fucking like. I like the music, but I don't
Yeah.
care about like I don't smoke blunts. I don't believe, like, what's my lyric? 2 fat blunts and it might be dank.
That's right.
Yeah, like, I don't have 2 fat blunts, and chances are, if I did, they would probably be dank. But
Do
it'd
you
be,
feel like you're cultural appropriating then? If you're
to a
not doing
degree,
it?
but the only reason I made it that way is because it went well with the, like, if I could find a rapper that could do it the way I wanted to,
Mhm.
and me writing it, I would have. But every time I run into rappers, they're just trying to sound like somebody else. You know what I mean?
He's like, no, but nobody can make it sound like I want it to sound.
Yeah.
So I have to do it myself.
Yeah. Or the people that could pull it off don't want to fuck with me. You know what I mean? They don't. So that's the only reason I made the project. But really, it was because my homies' beats were so dope. You know, and I'm a big fan of music in general, but I don't really care for the culture. And I think that gets in the way of, like, again, we were talking before we started recording, like, knowing your industry and knowing what's going. Like, same thing with acting. I don't know, like, I know some directors, but some people be pulling out like some
Dicks and shit.
like way yeah, some people
Right on
pull
your
out dicks to
forehead.
get famous, but I do think that there are a lot of people who really understand their industry, and directors and what work has been done before, so they can build on that. And I don't know if I have that interest for any fucking thing. Do you guys have an interest for anything like that deep, where you really know the ins and outs of your shit?
I'm supposed
TPP.
CBP. I'm
What's
supposed to be
CBP?
TPP.
CBP? Oh,
Tigers.
Tigers. Joe, yeah.
Tiger Bandit Power.
I'm supposed to be in the realm of science and engineering, but and I have made efforts. But a
To
lot
like
of times
learn your industry.
yeah, but a lot of times I fade away. I'm pretty sure if I learn my industry as well as you're saying I should, or describe it, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd probably be working for.
First of all, fuck you. Second of all, no, I honestly do believe that a lot of people miss that
Yeah.
in all their efforts.
Mhm.
They don't understand that they have to know what came before. Like, that's why history is important. And
Well,
I don't,
the
I
right
don't,
history,
Yeah.
because people
Yeah.
can change history.
yeah, but see, and I don't care about any of that for any field.
Even podcasting,
Even-
and none of our
even-
business.
Even for all the reading that I do,
yeah.
it's usually just tied to how can I make the present better. But I don't care that the first person to ever write self-help was XYZ, or the first person or that the Emerald Tablet was the first time that anyone ever saw the law of attraction, or fucking whoever was the first marketer ever, or anything that I read. My shit's so general, and I think that may be the source of a lot of other people's dismay as to why they're not where they are. Because with
Well,
that
yeah.
information, you know how to move the needle forward.
People say you're supposed to learn your history and know your history. We had this whole discussion about education and all that stuff,
Right.
and information,
Right.
and education. So,
I just think it's crazy because, like, I just asked you guys right now, can you think of anything that you're that passionate about, where you know the whole thing, and you want to move it forward?
it kind of would have been maybe video games back in the day. Not so, now. I mean, we're talking about now.
Yeah, back in the day, I fucking loved like Final Fantasy, but now I try to buy a video game, like I'm like, fuck, I
I'm
don't
trying to
care.
think if there's anything that
That sucks to me, man.
This podcast.
this
Right.
podcast.
So I was reading this book called Footsteps on the Moon, written by Seth Godin, and he talks about he was like, okay, if you call yourself a podcaster, do you know who Christy Tippett is? And do you appreciate the move that she made that was so different in podcasting? And I was like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, everybody wants to be a thing, but they don't know the people in the industry, and they don't understand what people have done, and that's why they usually don't. And like when I thought about it, I was like, fuck, he might be right. Might be onto something at least.
Might more. I would say it's more truthful.
Right.
It's like right on the money.
Right. Well, I just don't want, like, I don't want to assume my truth is true for you guys too. But if you guys can agree with that, like, I think that's so important.
I can't.
Joe's like, you don't need to know.
Yeah.
You could just be dope.
Because you wind up making the same mistake or
Dude,
repeating
we
the same
sound
thing.
dope, and we didn't. I mean, I didn't know anything about anybody.
Right. Well, yeah. Right. But
Well,
I also, it's like, I also took a lot of time to listen to a lot of podcasts, and like I work with a lot of podcasts. to that degree.
But see, you know a lot of the technical aspect
Right.
of it. like the way that we've done this show has just been random as fuck.
Right.
Like, we've
That's
just
true.
kind of
and developed something.
we've winged this whole thing. Like
We also sought a little bit of feedback from people who were listening to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So if somebody comes up to me or
we figured out that maybe we shouldn't play video games while we're doing
Right.
a pod.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
we did that shit. We
Right.
figured that out and stopped or slowed down on it, or you know, we've made these strides like to shit that kind of felt a little more natural that
Right.
we were doing as opposed to trying other. You know, so
I agree with you.
But-
But how far can that take us as opposed to taking it further by knowing what's come before?
well,
what?
we don't know yet.
like if
Right,
somebody had a
right.
podcast with games in it and said this is probably not the best idea to do during a podcast, would we have read that, listened to it, and actually changed our platform from the get-go?
I don't think so.
Right, because we would have just been like, maybe it doesn't work for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
exactly.
maybe it'll
exactly.
work for us. you
So
know,
it
like-
depends on the kind of history you're talking about and the field that you're talking about. I think that there's might be a little gray area in that.
Right. I mean, that's why I applied it to music
session.
first.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think personally, like, I think the reason, okay, I would argue that the reason why Bruno Mars has been able to succeed so much beyond his natural talent,
Mm.
because there are plenty of people who can sing better than Bruno Mars even, but because he always knows what he's throwing back to. You know what I mean? Like when he makes like a James Brown-esque song
Mhm. Or Prince or
Prince or any
Please.
like or Michael Jackson
Mhm,
based or
yeah.
any of those, like
Mhm.
you know that he knows he's doing it, but it's also the way he's doing it. Like when he brought back the whole Zapp and Roger thing with his last album, like,
Mm.
you know, that whole 24 karat magic and that flashy shit, that,
Mhm. Like the time.
yeah, like, yeah, that whole thing, you know, he knew he was doing that.
I would say it depends on the field of industry you're talking about.
Yeah.
It may not apply to everything,
but I think for Bruno, like with the case of Bruno Mars, it took a while for him to say, you know what, like because his original work, like what he was doing, like
Right. With his first album
was cool.
Yeah, it was
but
cool.
it wasn't fucking amazing.
Right.
It wasn't until he said, you know what, I'm gonna play on nostalgia. I'm gonna play old sounds and just write new songs to old sounds.
Right.
And then the
Mhm.
people love to feel nostalgic.
Absolutely.
We love it. We absolutely love it. If something's gonna remind me of my childhood or my past, I'll eat that shit up all day.
Right.
Because it's what we love.
Right.
Mm.
So of course, when he started doing all these funk and like using all these elements from old shit from a golden era of music
Right.
that everybody loved,
Right.
because who didn't love Zapp and Roger?
Right.
Who didn't love Earth, Wind, and Fire when they were in their prime? You know, everybody did. So of course it's gonna work.
Right.
And he just has the finesse.
Right. Exactly.
Oh
yeah.
my
Like he brought
God.
back New Jack Swing and all that. Like, but he
brought back
knew
New Jack.
that
like,
it was a thing. He knew that it was important.
because of the history.
And he
learned
knew what elements made that music different from, like, most musicians don't know why bossa nova is different from fucking, I don't know,
Samba
mamba or
or something
samba.
like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But he knew exactly is what I'm saying. And I don't think, like, I haven't broken anything down that much. And I don't mean to just bring it back to me. I'm just saying in general, I know a lot of people, like a lot of rappers definitely don't take that into consideration.
yeah.
But they might know the difference between the rhyme that
Two Live Crew.
AZ
Yeah.
versus Eminem or Nas, and like, no, but you got to, or Busta Rhymes or Twista, like the way they rap differently, and that's cool. You know, they can pick up on the whole Wu-Tang swag versus the Firm or whatever, like, and why that worked and why that didn't, you know, or West Coast rap versus East Coast. Like,
Mhm.
at least they know that.
Mhm.
Even if they don't know musicality, at least they take care of what's important for what they're doing, which is the flow.
Pieces of
Yeah,
history.
Right.
It seems like Joe agreed with you with his statement. Knowing your history does help out quite heavily. To be able, because for Bruno Mars, he wouldn't be able to, if he didn't know how to tap into that history or learn the history of what came before him, he probably wouldn't be able to
To be able to
get that
throw
element.
back properly.
But how do
Yeah,
we know if that was
successful, yeah.
Bruno's thought? It could be his
His
friend, his
team.
producer,
Well,
it
that's
could
what I'm
be a
saying.
writer.
Somebody
could have
on your
introduced him to-
team needs
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah,
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
yeah.
And I truly do believe that. And I was just bringing it because I know there's a lot of people out there who are probably like tripping out on their dreams and wondering why it's not getting anywhere. It's like, well, shit. How much do you really know about what you're going after? You know, that's what I'm trying to bring up. And I'm asking, like,
Yeah.
is there anything you guys are like that passionate about? Because I'm trying to think about it for me, and I'm like, fuck.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not
supposed
that
to.
excited about shit.
my field, again, about the field of industry, and my field of industry, I really am supposed to know what came before me. or else I'm repeating what they
Right, like
did. And it's not going to go
this is
anywhere.
a John Waters film, you know, and then the reason why John Waters stands apart from Darren Aronofsky, you know, who's a more contemporary filmmaker, and blah, 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 like things like I know to some degree that, but I don't know the language of film in general and what that means, and so I imagine there are architects and engineers and shit like that probably would be important.
Oh, heavily, yeah. Science and engineering. I mean, because mine's all factual based and data based. And a lot of people before me already did that data. So
already did their homework.
They already did their homework.
They did the data. Yo, do your data.
So hey, my guy, did you do your data?
For me to do
data,
that
data.
It's like if I'm playing with magnets and trying to figure out how magnets work. It's like there's people who already figured out how magnets work. So why would I?
Why am I going to waste my time figuring out how a magnet works
when somebody already did
that job for me?
So you just look at it, but then you have to know who to look up, where to look up, all that stuff to know that information. I mean, shit. Even when I was playing with magnets at one point, and I did try and do some research. A lot of it is still very confusing. Some of it you might have to work at on your own, but
the secret of the mystery of the magnet has yet to reveal itself. Yeah. Did you just kiss the mic?
Like,
is that how you do it, Keenan? Before you get ready?
I'd love to. Nah, like when somebody's trying to further develop something, I want to be able to understand that process. Like, say for example, magnets. Okay, because you were using magnets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm trying to improve the magnet, like, I wonder what that process is. Like,
yeah,
how do you calculate and how do you strengthen something? Like, okay, we found the calculation that's going to strengthen this magnet. Okay, so now that you have the calculation,
what do you do?
What do you do to strengthen the magnet? Are you going to go to like a magnet molder and how are you going to add that formula to strengthen this magnet? Like,
which is why you need to know your shit, right?
You need to know your chemistry, your elemental analysis.
What types of tests are going to be able to prove that the strength is improved?
Because before we had these magnets called neodymium, if I'm pronouncing that fully correctly.
Take it easy, Keenan. This is our first date.
The more common term for you layman people is rare earth magnet.
Right.
But you get the rare earth material from China.
This fucking snob.
China apparently has a stockpile, but I mean they're diminishing now, but a huge stockpile of rare earth
neodymium
of material, which is a combination of a whole bunch of different other elements. But
so their soil just seems to have more of it.
Well, yeah. To answer Joe's question, they pretty much have people in labs that literally try to figure out how to make something that's already existing better, and they a lot of times do trial and error, or they'll run into somebody who has this chemical element and then this piece of element, and they go, "Oh, I wonder what happens if we put these two elements together." Some of it is calculated, like they'll do the math and say, if only we had this one thing to increase it, it might work. And then somebody finds that one piece of element, like, oh, then they try it. They try it out. I mean, most of that stuff, I strongly believe, as smart as they are, they still do a lot of trial and error.
Right.
And you get a good sense of that from the book Area 51 by Jacobs. I forgot her first name, some Jacobson, but she wrote a book on Area 51 from a scientific point of view or military scientific point of view. And you find out in that book that they did a lot of testing on rockets, not knowing where the rockets will end up. Like, it's supposed to go somewhere, but it wound up flying over into Mexico and crash landing and blowing up something over there.
Shit.
And did a lot of underground tests of nuclear explosions just to see what happens and figuring things out. I mean, there's documentaries.
So there's a bunch of radiation under us.
Yeah. There's video of them.
That's nuts.
They had video of them launching nuclear explosions to a crowd of onlookers, a couple miles away. But it's like, because they didn't know the full effect of it because it was brand new, they were just testing it and playing with it and
killing people along the way.
That book is very interesting. If you want to find out supposedly the real history of Area 51, they played around with rockets. And
Godzilla.
Oh yeah, well,
yeah.
it's like the real history of psychology and like the development of like us, all that other shit too, where they fucking crack skulls and whatever
Mhm.
else to see what makes the brain tick where what like
Yeah, a lot of our development in the biological department of human anatomy
has been inhumane.
it varied through World War II in Germany, and those scientists doing some wild shit.
For a more relatable matter, though,
yeah.
for what we're talking about, like imagine the idea of writing a song, right? You have to pull on your what you know, right? Some of your favorite songs or this or that, like, you know, and knowing why your song is going to be different
Mm-hmm.
or how your song is your song. What makes it like you? I think it helps to know. Most people don't know songwriters; they think it's the artist, right? But any songwriter worth their salt should know songwriters,
to some degree.
Yeah,
maybe.
right?
Eventually,
Right. Eventually,
if you stick within some circles, yeah, you're eventually going to meet other songwriters for sure.
You just can't go around saying you're an expert on that subject,
right?
Like
Without having something to compare to.
Yeah,
And I guess
Joe
tangible.
You can make.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
Oh, pardon
good
me,
sir.
gentlemen.
Pardon me,
Gentlemen
sir.
and a
Oh,
scholar.
my goodness. Oh.
Indubitably.
But I want to go back to the
Cherry
the testing
glazer.
shit because cherry glazer.
Testing.
Number
Blade cannon.
47.
The way.
Oh, God. Testing stuff, testing rockets and shooting them off. It's crazy. I got really upset when I read that book about how these brilliant scientists were just playing with fucking rockets and just seeing what happens.
It reminds me of Chernobyl.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg, our homie Greg was just talking about this Netflix thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
on
Netflix
Chernobyl?
just released the. Was it Netflix?
It was Netflix.
Yeah, no, it's
I think
HBO.
so.
It's on
Oh,
HBO.
HBO. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
So there's a mini series on HBO called Chernobyl,
Mhm.
and it kind of fictionalizes the event or
all the
it
radiation
takes
and all that shit.
it takes like a
takes place.
it tells the story of Chernobyl through recorded facts that happen and obviously some fictitious stuff,
Dramatized.
filling in the blanks. But I've watched a couple of episodes, and let me tell you, just you get mad knowing that so many people knew what was happening and so many people were unaware of the impact of what was actually happening. Like, it's crazy to me that you just think, okay, so there were a lot of people that were doing things that they didn't even know what was going to happen to them, like, because they weren't aware of like what radiation was actually going to be doing to them.
They didn't even know radiation was like.
No. And then the people who did know were like, oh shit, something's wrong. Like the experts knew, like, immediately they knew something was wrong.
Right. But the government at hand was like, no, nothing to see here.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing to see here.
Oh man, you guys got to watch.
It's just like global warming,
It's just so eerie. No, because this show puts it like in a perspective where it's just so eerie that people were doing things completely unaware that they were going to be dead within hours.
Right.
Like, it's amazing to me. Like, there's a scene where the firefighters show up and they're trying to put the fire out. They're spraying it. They see all this rubble. There's graphite on the floor. One of the dude picks it up. He's like, "Oh, what's this?" Like, not knowing that it has like a million
plutonium.
times. It has a million times the radiation. And like his hand starts burning, and they're like, "Oh, he got burned because of the it was just really hot, And they're unaware that this
Meanwhile,
shit's
there was
happening.
people who knew what was going on and allowed it to continue.
Yes, like there's another scene where miles and miles away at the Byzantine Russia, like some university, for nuclear something like that.
Yeah.
Two
Professors,
not researchers. They're in their little lab,
right?
And then one of the dudes is like, "Man, it's fucking hot." And the girl, she's like, "Yeah, it is a little hot. It's been crazy." The dude opens the window and like, he's like, "Whoa!" Like, and then he closes it immediately, and he was just like, "Something's wrong." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, let's check this and that." And then the girl checks it, and she's like, "Oh my god, like, what's going on? This can only be happening." And it's just amazing just to watch, like, how they were doing it. It's like
through
made
sheer
it.
mistakes.
Yeah, they made it so that the viewer could see
as it was happening.
the process of how people were figuring shit out, and also how people were doing things completely oblivious to what was actually happening. Like, it's just crazy to me. If you guys get a chance to watch it, you should.
It's like the movie Akira, right?
It's on my list.
Yeah.
Where they start experimenting on this kid and he doesn't know what the fuck's happening to him.
Yeah. And it's very like, even the government, like, because of what these researchers were doing, trying to cover up what they were telling the government. No, it's cool. You know, like how they were lying, like
Trying to get their funding.
Yeah. Like, there's a meter that showed them the radiation levels. It's like the
Oh,
I don't know what it's called.
Anyways,
I know what you're talking about.
so the meter that they
the
had,
one that goes.
the meter that they had could only go to a certain, like, 3.6 something. It could only go through. So that's the number that they were giving the government. They were saying, oh, you know, our readings are telling us this. And
Even
then,
though it was probably like 10.9 or whatever.
dude, it was like hundreds of thousands over
Damn.
it. So again, another expert, he receives the report and he's like, he sees the number 3 point something, and he's like, okay, guys, there's something wrong here. You know, he states it right away. He's like, okay, I'm reading here that it's at 3 point something.
Geiger counter.
It might have been a
Geiger
Geiger.
counter.
That's
No,
what
but it's something. Well, it was with a D. What they were doing. I can't remember what it was called, but it was with a D. Anyway,
Everything is done with the D.
so the guy's like, okay, they're saying that it was this much, and the government officials was like, yeah, you know, that's still pretty doable. You know, it's bad, but you know, we can work with this. You know, it's not a
Right.
He's like, no. He's like, you guys don't get it. He's like, that number, that's the maximum number on a
That we
counter
can read.
that we can read. So they're giving you the number that they can read. We don't know if it's that or if it's even more.
The radiation of the sun.
Yeah, exactly. So then they're like, okay, but what do you mean? He's like, I'm telling you, this is wrong. They're giving you the number that they're seeing,
Yeah.
but that's the limit number.
Yeah.
So they're giving you that number. So this could be even worse than we think. And the guy's like, oh no, but they're telling you, think I'm going to listen to you? Our experts on the field are telling us this. And he's like, nah, man, I'm telling you. And then when they, it's just crazy.
The
man. You guys
ego
gotta
in the
watch.
science
Yeah.
and engineering community is on
It
a whole
is.
nother level.
Oh, you can tell. And then, oh man, you guys
It's
got to
bad.
watch it.
Same thing
Yeah, I
if you
gotta
look-
check it out.
If you look up the
Hey Joe, let me log into your account.
You can already log into it.
the explosion of one of the space shuttles was a result of like when they finally found out that it was a result of
A fucking nut.
measurement. It was well there's the first one where they had like a teacher on it and everything. It was because the numbers were in like imperial, but somebody so it was supposed to be in millimeters and stuff like that, but they measured it in inches and whatnot, and somebody didn't do the conversion properly. Is what it got down to, and that's the thing about how the people that are in there, you know, for decades, you know, are shown how to do the whole conversion back and forth. So to get down, and this might be something that was made up to make us think this way. I don't know, but the involvement of the government and stuff like that, where
It's none of our business.
yeah, where it's like it's the result.
Sticking true to the brand.
The result couldn't have been a conversion factor mishap. And if it is, how are we letting
Like, how the fuck?
these brilliant scientists
Couldn't figure that shit out.
and I'm just butthurt because I would try to apply to these companies. They didn't hire me because I wasn't smart enough. But it's like, if you're that smart and you couldn't do that conversion prior and
Then,
found that
yeah,
out and stuff
we
like
need
that.
to dock your pay.
No single person was to blame. They just said it was a conversion factor mishap. Well, who did the mishap? Nobody knows the person's name.
That sounds like somebody trying to cover some shit up. It's
Yeah.
a conversion miss.
It was like,
so-
yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that I run into people in the science and engineering community when they're wrong. It's like, oh, something happened that made it wrong. They won't
Nobody
take blame.
ever takes responsibility,
for
even
their-
in companies.
Yeah.
But
for
it's
anything.
it's really serious in the engineering community. It's
And
really,
that's
like-
that's one of the other key scenes,
Mhm.
like where they call him out, and the guy that's supposed to be in charge, he's like, yeah, why didn't that happen? Do you have why didn't that happen? And he goes to his assistant when they were bullshitting Briggs, like, oh fuck. But
Mhm.
then when the guy's like, yo, so why? You tell me why. He's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us why it didn't happen. Like nobody wanted to take the responsibility.
Even at like regular ass jobs,
that too.
People don't want to take responsibility for shit.
But I just feel like it's so strong. Maybe because I'm in there, but in the classes I've took, the teachers and everything, and the jobs, it's just super strong in the ability of like, that's not my fault because I'm smart enough to know that I couldn't have done that, even though you did.
Well, having more intelligence only allows you to create stronger arguments for what could be an erroneous perception.
Yeah, nobody's going to challenge you if you're confident enough to say, no, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to take somebody like me to challenge you and be like, no, stupid ass, it's not.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid.
There was a good, I have to send this to you. There was a great segment. I'm going to try and be as quick as I can. There was a great segment, and you guys both know who Patrice O'Neill is, right?
Yes. Of course.
He's on the show, Opie and Anthony, back in the day, and they had Dr. Michio Kaku. Yes, they had him on
Kaku,
about the the BM oil spill and how to fix that and plug it up. And he's describing a solution. He's like a really brilliant physicist and all that stuff. And Patrice is asking him, okay, so you're really smart. You're telling us all these ways that they can do to fix it. If they asked you, how do we solve this? What is your answer? Do you have a solution to fix this problem? And he never answers the question. Like, well, you're supposed to, his immediate result was always what the solution is you have to get a bunch of scientists and engineers in the military because they work with that kind of depth and they can figure things out. And he's like, okay. What about you? You're a smart guy, right? You're a brilliant physicist. You make things and you solve problems. What is your solution to this? He's like, well, what they should do is hire engineers and scientists in the military. It's like, no.
It's because Michio Kaku is probably more of a politician than he is an actual scientist.
But Patrice got really upset. And when they eventually cut him off, he got upset saying that this guy is supposed to be so smart and to come up with solutions, yet he's not coming up with a solution when asked and would redirect the question to something else and loop it to some weird shit.
And it's probably also because it's the oil industry. There's a lot of political ties. You never know.
That's one of the things they might have said. Like, he can't come out with the answer, so he's going to be liable for something.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of like compliance too that you have to worry about, especially if you work for, like, he could have clients that depend on him making sure he doesn't say some shit like that. Like, that's the problem, man, is there's political alliances everywhere you look, and some of the places that are the most important that shouldn't have political alliances that put the expense of the public. I mean, that put the public at an expense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And yet that happens all the time.
That's why when you read that book, Area 51, they talk about how our government just let this wild, crazy experimentation with rockets and nuclear weapons go down in New Mexico with no like some serious messed up shit happened down there that could have been really wrong. Like, they literally had a subject or chapter on a rocket flying over to Mexico, landing somewhere, and like nobody knew. Like,
just killing people.
Yeah, it was weird.
Like, take for example, I read the other day in LinkedIn, WeWork is going to go public now, right? As a company. For a long time, they've been getting private funding, and like there's a WeWork right across the street here. They're the biggest co-working company there is. Basically, commercial real estate is their industry. And as they were moving to go public, a lot of things have to come to light. And they said, as we go public, one of our original substantial donors who's been helping our company expand is going to be someone that we're no longer going to be moving forward with. And they're like, oh, and who is that? Well, we don't morally or ethically actually agree with them, so we're going to have to. And it turns out it was like the Saudi Arabian kingdom, like the people who were like, doing people who are, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it's the people who have been making videos of beheading people and all that shit. Like, those are the people that were funding the expansion of WeWork. And as they go public, they're going to basically tenfold the money that gets to get funded to that entire community of people.
People find out and be like,
and if WeWork successfully does that, we legitimately put capitalism in front of just like true democracy and whatever the fuck else, like people's well-being. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And that's not being shown anywhere else other than fucking LinkedIn, bro. Wall Street Journal isn't going to put that out there, and maybe if they did, it's not going to be in that angle.
Yeah.
And what about everybody who's on Instagram and not knowing that?
Damn, I'm
Like, I don't
look
want to
up
be a
that
part of
WeWork
WeWork
shit.
now. Like, knowing that shit, if that's true, I have to verify it.
Right.
Obviously, you know, it's hearsay for now. But if that is true,
Mm-hmm.
fuck that.
Yeah.
Imagine how many other businesses are funded by people like doing shit like that. And
I'm
we're
pretty
every
sure
day-
they are. I
we're-
mean, fucking watch the documentary Dirty Money.
Right.
One of my
right,
favorite
right,
fucking
right, right,
documentaries.
right.
They had a subject on that bank. Is it Bank of Mexico or something? HB something?
HSBC.
Yeah,
That's
which
the-
is funded
that's
by
the Chinese.
Chinese. Sorry, it's funded by the cartel.
Yeah.
and they have all their money laundering through that bank, and it's like, what the fuck?
I mean, hey man, you know, to the victor go the spoils, bro.
Who knows? I mean, fucking Bank of America, Wells Fargo could be like some crazy gangster shit back in the day. That was a long time ago, so we don't know.
Not good. They were.
They were.
Yeah, I mean the music business, the
Mhm.
movie business, those are also people like run by mafia type shit. Like everywhere you
yeah.
look, man.
Even America has our money in debt to China. You know, we were being foreign. We borrowed money from like France or something like
Yeah,
that and
yeah.
whatnot. It was just,
I mean, look at the rise of Frank Sinatra. For all the talent that he does have,
Mhm.
he still got help from, you know, people who shall not be named, who were
Yeah.
able to break some legs to make sure they didn't step in on Frank Sinatra's turf. You
yeah.
know? And that's how he got to be you know, like everywhere you look, man, there has been some muscle that was flexed
That's
to
right.
make sure there was a status quo that was established. You know,
Yeah. Do you think that's why we may not be successful in some of the things we preach, because we don't like muscle our way into stuff?
here's the thing, though. I mean, you know,
I'm pretty successful.
That's 'cause I got
a
you
good
that
thing
way.
can't necessarily be kept secret for too long. But yeah, I'm sure at some point, if things do blow up, there's going to be someone who's going to approach us and say, hey, listen here. You know,
That kind of worries me. Like if I owned a bar or something like that in some nice neighborhood, I feel like some group would come in and be like, okay, you know, if
Here's
you
how
want
it
to keep,
really
if
goes
you want to keep
down.
this bar here or whatever,
Dude,
you're gonna have to owe us. I'm like,
anything that
fuck.
involves influence and power,
Mm-hmm.
someone whose influence and power may be threatened will show at your doorstep the minute you become a relevant blip.
Yeah.
That's just how the world works.
So should I stay irrelevant?
Well, that's up to
That's
you,
what
man.
you want.
That is the cost of leadership.
You know,
You have to be able to roll with the punches.
because if I start a company like an engineering company, I make like $1 billion. Somebody's gonna knock on my door and like, I want a piece of that $1 billion.
Look at what happened to Nikolai Tesla. You know what I mean? The most open destruction of a man the world has ever seen. Like he was inventing all these things, all these patents,
Government
and then
came
one
after his
day they
ass.
just burned his whole fucking shit to the ground.
Some people
Fucking
say
Thomas
that a lot of the
Edison.
stuff that was in there is owned by the government now, and some of the crazy shit they developed was from his lab.
I mean, you know, it's all hearsay again. I
Yeah,
wasn't there,
yeah,
whatever, but
yeah.
it's kind of convenient that all of his shit was burned down.
Yes, if
You
you,
know
watch
what
the
I mean?
documentary, it's super sketchy. If you see
And
the
he's like
documentary,
he's one of the most brilliant people that have ever lived on this
Yeah.
planet. You
there
know,
was something wrong.
even Einstein
and,
was like, "You
yeah.
want to talk to a genius? Talk to him."
Yeah.
That's some fucked up shit, man. You got to
Yeah.
play the game, dude.
Yeah.
Play the game or be ready for war. Sic vis pacem parabellum. What is that shit from John Wick?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
obviously it's an old Latin saying, but
yeah.
If you want peace, you better prepare,
for war. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you two allow that to happen? Like say for instance, like if you own something and it made like millions or billions and somebody came up to you like, okay, you now got to pay us this money if you want to keep your
Listen
business
up.
in check.
Here's how it's gonna go down.
Would you
They can
go
suck
along?
my dick.
It's like
Really?
King of New York with Christopher Walken. If you sell a bike, I want in.
Yeah, like what if they say they come after your wife and kids? Like you have to play the game or we'll take your whole family out.
They could take my family. I don't care.
he said, you think I'm gonna go out like a chump? Like a chump. Hey,
Damn.
like a chump. hey.
new ones.
Oh Jesus.
Oh wow.
I'm kidding, but
Well, I mean, how are you gonna put someone on the spot like that? Because at the end of the day, no matter what you say right now, what
Mhm.
matters is what happens when you're under the power of a situation.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Like if if a company that I own blew up and somebody came after me like, hey, if you want to operate your warehouse in this area, you have to pay us X amount of money to keep it going. I'm like, shit, I don't know.
I mean,
Sounds to me like you've never been a drug dealer.
Well, no shit,
I mean,
Sherlock.
Jeez,
I mean that just comes with the territory, bro.
bruh, you just got to stand your ground. You know,
Your
what I'm
your
saying?
supplier. I mean, have you ever seen the movie Savages?
No.
It's a good example of this idea in motion, which is basically these dudes two smart dudes, right, hire one stock guy to manage their money while one of them is an ex military man who has a crew, and then the other just happens to be a talented biologist who was able to develop some dank shit, and they started creating their own and planning their own. And then the cartel got wind of this, and they were like, "So listen up.
I know.
From now on, you're gonna be selling for us." And they're like, "Okay, but what's our benefit?" "Oh, none. You work for us."
Or else you die.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know I want to stay alive, so I'm gonna have to pussy up.
But that's been since the dawn of civilization. That has been man's MO.
Yeah.
Is I may not be able to do it, but I can beat your ass.
Exactly.
You want to fight me?
But I'll fuck you up.
I'll kick your ass.
I'll fucking kick your ass.
I mean, the age of the tough guy movie may be gone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, but like
still around.
If you watch any fucking martial arts movies, that's why everybody was out there training in their school in the front, being like, look how many people we got in our crew. We want to talk about like we've advanced a lot as a society, but we haven't.
No,
we're still bullies.
Yeah.
We just don't have to watch our bully because our bully tactics, because it happens on the other side of the world.
Which makes me wonder.
Eat cheeseburgers and pizza.
I always wonder about that. Like Jeff Bezos or Microsoft, Bill Gates.
They're contributing to that.
I'm kind of curious. I'm really curious if
they absolutely do. Yeah.
So when Microsoft was blowing up, somebody came to them and be like, now you're doing this with us.
You don't think America walks into those people's offices and swings their big red, white, and blue dick and says, "Hey, listen up. From now on, I want in."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're going to call it a government collaboration.
We're collaborators or something. Where's the PR guy? We'll get you to think of something here.
Yeah.
Hey, give me something nice to say.
Well, if I blow up, you guys I'll put you in front. You guys can talk for me because
we've given you a government contract.
I mean, that's what makes Tony Stark so dope.
This contract is for you to work with
remember,
us.
He was like, ladies and gentlemen, I have successfully privatized world peace. You remember all that shit? Remember that?
Because he worked with the government.
Because he wasn't working with the government. He was like, I'm not. He was like, I'm not going to give you Iron Man. Yeah,
but they took it from him anyway.
Well, again, fucking Ivan or whatever Mickey Rourke's character was came through with the whips and shit.
Well, no, they actually did take his suit. Didn't they take his suit?
Oh, that's right.
Iron Man 3 or something like
that.
Or
3,
they took his suit and then he had to get it back or something like that.
Dude, one way or another, the minute you start getting power, somebody's power is going to come through like, yo. They might even come to you as a friend. Like, I don't know if you've seen Guava yet.
I think they probably did.
With Donald Glover and all that. But, he started being pretty popular among the people. And so the guy who's running shit was like, hey, listen, if you put together this festival and make everyone happy, they're going to be tired and they're not going to come to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need you to not do this. And then he passes them a fat stack of cash. He was like, are we in agreement? Dongo was like, oh, yeah. But it would mean a lot to the people. It would it would make them feel alive. And so, now people are like, oh, you're not going to do this? And then you find out whether or not what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And everywhere you look, man. I mean, thankfully, I never ran into bullies in school. For some reason, I was always cool enough, or I seemed self-confident enough that nobody ever fucked with me, right? But at the end of the day, it's not like I was stepping on anybody's toes who was stepping on somebody else's toes.
Right.
I wasn't fighting bullies either, I was just doing my fucking thing.
Were there bullies at uni like you see in those 80s movies?
Dude, while I was going to uni, that's when long white tees and baggy clothes was still popular. And there was a lot of crews who were somehow loosely related to gangs, but it was mindless violence.
Well,
they didn't even know why they were doing it.
No, I meant like, is there that bully like that would like pick on the nerd and pull his
no.
This
was like crews.
This was like, this is more like gang related stuff than it is like the bully of the typical stereotype.
Yeah. And I don't understand if gangs originally were formed to help protect the public from the government, which is like essentially supposed to be the mission.
The Crips and the Bloods were.
Do they not understand how that goes and bleeds into schools? And then it just causes people who are taking advantage of whatever alliance they have and bullying little kids, and like, instead of providing protection, it's not like they walk around and fight bullies. They're the bullies
that
themselves.
falls along the same lines as the police too.
Yeah,
police,
any gang, right?
Police, military, shit, dude.
I mean, at the end of the day,
shit's
power. Power is a motherfucker, man.
Speaking of power, fucking 50 Cent.
What happened?
He's a fucking bully.
Wait, what
did
did
he
he
do
do?
this time?
I know.
You heard about what he did to Ja Rule's concert, right?
No.
Where he bought like a whole, like a shitload
Friar
of
Fest?
tickets,
No,
so that
no,
he
no.
bought a bunch of tickets to Ja. No, when Ja Rule had like a concert he was gonna perform,
Yeah.
like Ashanti, whatever the fuck.
Okay.
And he bought like all the front rows, and then nobody showed up, and it was just empty in the front as he was doing his concert. It's like
What?
that's how much money 50 Cent had to just throw away to insult someone.
Yeah,
Damn.
but he's doing
What?
a lot of shit like where he'd loan people money and now he's like collecting,
Damn.
but he's collecting like
With
on
interest.
social media, like
Oh.
through social media,
No.
airing people out. Yeah, it's fucking great.
What?
Well, I mean, it's also great marketing.
Yeah, it is
For
absolutely.
him?
It's
or for-
it's making 50 Cent more relevant than ever. Because when was the last time he put out an album?
I know. Shit. All I know
He
about
hasn't,
50 Cent was
but-
that he was supposed to be like broke or something.
No
and owed
way.
money to the
There-
court.
there-
Fucking
There's
owns vitamin
no
water,
way.
bro.
There's no way that 50's broke.
Well, was there
Zero.
some sort of court thing where he had to say that he was
50
poor?
is broke, but the corporations that he's protected his assets under is
Yeah, the
not.
asset. How does that asset thing work? Because there's
Dude.
people that like, oh, you worth
Yeah,
$1 billion
whole
in
other
assets.
episode.
Oh, okay.
That's
What's that? Yeah.
I mean, asset protection is.
I don't
I
know
mean,
what
look, that's why people are mad at Trump, because it's hard to pin down because he has so many asset protection litigations set up. Like he's got his whole legal shit situated so that, I mean, you could try to pin it on him, but as far as people know, he's only earning $1 a fucking day.
Mhm.
But we all know that's
It's
not
crazy.
true.
It's
We all
crazy.
know that's not true.
Yeah.
Damn.
But that's the power of knowledge and of having the right team to protect your money.
Yeah, but 50's on a whole other level. There's no way he's broke. He produces so many television shows.
Oh yeah,
like-
yeah. My boy Gabe Vargas just signed on to be the main actor who plays that lawyer who got, or that dude who got locked up and then became a lawyer.
Oh, the Isaac Wright thing?
Yeah. He plays fucking Isaac Wright, my boy from New York. Yeah,
Oh,
Gabe
shit.
Vargas, man.
Cool.
Dude came up, man.
That's
So good to
dope.
see people out there doing things like that.
See, that's what I love, man. I love seeing people who you know just do
Work
it.
hard, bro. He's a hard working.
Become
I
successful.
do every day.
Eat my dick, Keenan.
But anyways, yeah, bullies, power.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna head into
The
our
soapies.
soapbox tizzy for the week of June.
All right, wait. That's how we do when we end the.
No. Okay. So it's always me, apparently. So I'm going to start off with my soapbox.
That's a little pretentious of you.
Nobody even said anything, but Keenan
'Cause
just decided. You're fucking excited.
I didn't just no. Well, I
Don't blow your load, Keenan.
Too late. All right, go ahead.
That's not cocaine, by the way. That's just a sinus
I'm
cleanser.
taking a moment for my soapbox because it's really serious.
Ooh.
No. It was one of the topics I wanted to discuss as an actual discussion, but I'll just be quick on it on my soapbox, and then we can hopefully discuss about it later. But it was about thirsty dudes trying to get the poo nanny at clubs and bars, and I saw some wild shit. I was sober, so obviously I had a different perspective on things. But even when I'm drunk, I noticed these things about dudes hitting up on women in bars and clubs, drunk as fuck, and thirsty as fuck too. And I'll try to give it a quick scenario, but I was at a bar. My friend was DJing that night. Shout out to Marcus Aurelius. And we were just sitting at the DJ booth looking on the on crowd, and there's this really good looking lady at the bar. The weird thing was, first there was this handsome looking dude that was talking to her. I thought they were already a couple. They seemed like a couple, talking close, hands on each other. He makes out with her a little bit, but at one moment he like makes out with her, but then fully grabs her ass and like lifts her. And this is it was just like, God damn. It's like, if you're going that hard, just go fuck somewhere. This is a bar. We're just drinking, having fun and stuff like that. But her friend that she was with, who was with this other dude, they were making out too, and mad crazy, hands on the ass and whatnot. I got super jealous because I barely could get a handshake out of my ex in public, but it was wild. But the dude that she was making out with left at one moment, and I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, why would he leave? And thought they were together, so it must have been some random guy that was able to hook up with her, and then he bounced for whatever reason. But in comes this other dude, foreign guy, from some European country. I forgot the name of it was, but he was drinking, and he tried to hit up on this same girl, and she shooed him away several times, but then he keeps coming back. Like he keeps trying like really hard. He gets close to her. He rubs shoulders with her. He puts his arm around her shoulder and tries to talk with her and share a drink and stuff like that. He winds up even following her outside the bar to go smoke. When she goes out and smoke, every single time she walks away from him, he goes and follows her. At this moment, I'm thinking I could have swore this is like illegal or something like that, or in this day and age, it's not being allowed. But she doesn't push him away. She doesn't yell at him. She doesn't say, "Get out of my face," or anything like that. It's almost like she's allowing it. And then it gets to a point where I look over just to see how this scenario is going to get played out. He literally stands right next to her after many contributions of "get away from me." He like puts his hand on her ass, and I see her turn away and look at her friend and go, "Oh my God," like in her mouth, but she still doesn't shoo this dude away. Even the dude in their little trio doesn't say anything or push this guy out. And this drunk guy also tries to become friends with the other two people in their group and talking really loud and like laughing at stuff that I don't even know what he's laughing about, but it's really aggressive and really just like, what the fuck is in your mind thinking that at some point this is going to turn around and be a success for you? And then during this whole process, there's one other dude that I had a brief conversation with because he saw the girl too. And he said to me that he wants to try and hit on her. And I'm like, okay, good luck, man. Good luck. Give it a try. And he's like, trying. Like he's gonna try the whole night. And he winds up sitting nearby the girl and just sitting and staring at the whole drunk guy trying to hit on her the whole time. Like he's waiting in line to get his shot to hit on this girl. I mean, this girl was good looking, but not worth that fucking amount of effort. It was just, and they were all, obviously everybody was drinking and stuff like that. So that could be an element to it, but it was just like, I can't believe how, I don't know if it's a desperation or something in the mind where it's like, I don't know. It was weird, but it was also a little bit annoying, and it was also a little bit like, I can't believe you're stooping this low. I can't believe you just have to try and see if you can sleep with this girl or get her number or something like that. It's like when I see, I don't know where I'm going with it. I'm going. This is something I would rather just come with different ideas and talk with you guys, but it is my soapbox. So basically, it was a little frustrating to see these dudes try so desperately to try and hit on this one girl out of many of the other girls in the club. Yeah. Thirsty dudes.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about that later. No.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Muchas gracias.
Super insightful. Si puento.
Sin cuenta.
I don't know, man.
Soapbox, right? I would say it is akin to going out. I find it fascinating to me, and it could just be a personality thing, but I find it fascinating that people make the effort to dress up, look nice, go out to a club, maybe even, in particular with live music, and the bands are playing, and every band knows that as soon as the people start to move, it makes them play better. But every time I go to a show or I go out, people are usually just, even at house parties, people are usually just posted, inhibited, no matter how much alcohol they've had. Like, why do people make the effort to only go so far? I really want to encourage people to dance, to let loose and to let go of these inhibitions, because otherwise, what the fuck is the point? Like, don't pretend you're going out so you can go out for Instagram. Like, if you're going to go out and the dance floor is empty, be the leader. Take the step forward. I've found more often than not, the minute I start to dance, other people join in, but nobody wants to be the person that looks dumb. But what looks even more dumb is a room full of people who said they were going to go out and didn't do a damn thing about it. You know? So that's my soapbox.
Yeah, do something.
Joe's like, do something.
do something with
Joe's
the
falling
thing.
asleep over here. You sure you got it in you for a soapbox?
Of course I have it in me for a soapbox.
Oh, you got it in you, huh?
He always has a soapbox.
It's not the first time, and it won't be the last.
Hey,
What happened? No, my soapbox is just giving it up to 3252.
Whatever that is.
It's the supporters group union. It's a shout out. My soapbox is a shout out. It's a shout out to the group,
Respect.
the supporters of the Los Angeles Football Club. Like, there's a lot of talk that we're funded by the club, that there's corporate interests in what we do, but we don't. We do it off of just sheer will and love for the team. I'm recently new to the sport, and I used to think soccer was kind of a boring sport. It's definitely not. And then it's not boring, and it enhances it even more when you have people, like-minded individuals, supporting the same thing. So give it up to the 3252. We're in Portland this weekend, and we fucking killed it. Like, the Timbers supporting groups couldn't hold a candle to us at all. And there's some articles on MLS and stuff that are saying that we were that dope.
That's dope.
So yeah, even like some of their own supporters were like, "Yo, we couldn't see them. We couldn't see them." So that was a great thing. That was super dope. Even the Timbers were showing us love. Even after the game, man, those supporters are fucking great. Like, even after the game, some of them were waiting out there and then just shaking our hands, telling us how great we did. And
some of the supporters of your support group?
No, of the
opposite
opposing team.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it was super dope.
Forgot it was your soapbox, but I got so engaged in it.
It's all right.
It's a shout out. So yeah,
you guys were making fun, but whatever. Now you guys are engaged. Anyway, but so yeah, it just goes to show how much of an impact your supporters can make. So with that being said, any of our listeners, any of our supporters, repost us, follow us,
yes,
comment. Show us the love
Talk to
that
us.
you have for us. Tell people about us. Talk to us. Yeah,
we need
Hit
those
us up.
iTunes reviews too.
Individually, you guys know how to get to us.
Tell us just shit, or if it's good.
Philly's thing right now with the iTunes, since we're now on iTunes officially, no more fuck iTunes.
Yeah, we love them.
We'd love to get reviews. So if you guys can shoot over to iTunes, if you're listening from an
up the
iPhone,
phone, show me it's real.
Text us, call us, or Instagram.
But
say something
leave
on
us those
Instagram.
reviews.
Yeah.
On
If you
iTunes.
don't know how to leave a review, hit us up.
Yeah. Hit Philly up because
Joe doesn't do any work.
No,
we're gonna add the
you.
link to our bio on
we'll
Instagram.
add it. We'll add the link to the link. Yeah, man. If y'all love us, show us the love.
Because we love you
post
back.
us. We post every Monday. Spread that love. Spread that love. The way some of you
Spread on your chest or your forehead,
legs.
legs.
I don't know. Anyway.
And thank you for rocking with us while we shoot on this location.
Yes. Our next guest for next week.
Yes, we have Sheila Starciani.
Another Sheila.
A friend of the show, an avid listener. She's going to be joining us next week to give us some insight on what she does and what she's about and some of the opinions she's had. So join us next week. Sheila Starciani will be on the show. I'm thinking we're done.
In honor of Frank Sinatra. No. I guess all we have left to say is.
I don't know if I want to do it anymore.
Oh, wow.
Fuck you.
Eat woman out.